What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining us right here on Tuesday night. It is Tuesday Night Titans, episode 138 for your Tuesday, March 10th, 2026. I'm your host, JD from New York, as always, joined by the one and only, and I can promise you, he wasn't one of the masked men last night on Raw, the Solid Monster.
Yeah, I wasn't one of the putty people.
The putties, bro.
What the fuck was that? You kidding me?
Did you do the sound effects last night on your Raw review?
I didn't.
Okay.
I wish I did.
Okay.
I really wish I did. I was kind of, I had my head in my hands. I was doing that because I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
He wants to be part of the putties. He wants to be half magician over there. He's like disappearing in a sea of masked men.
Look like a bunch of ninjas. Remember, I said on my end, they had this obsession 5 or 6 years ago with ninjas and guys that were dressed up as ninjas. Remember, Omos was a ninja at one point. And I just, the comparison that I made, when Rollins disappeared at the end of that segment, you remember from the live action Ninja Turtle movies or even the cartoon where they had the smoke bomb they would throw down? Yeah. They should have just done that. They should have just thrown a smoke bomb down, and then he could have disappeared in this plume of smoke.
Oh my God! The sad thing is they just hired a new lead writer for Raw, and the week that she got announced as the new lead writer, that's the first segment we see. I'm like, yeah, we're off to a roaring start here on Monday night. Alexandria Williams, I think her name was.
Well, she was there. She got promoted, so she was already working there. She's not new, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that opening segment was. That was just quite ridiculous. And my favorite part is like when he initially showed up and they were doing the the putty dance. And he looks at Seth. He goes, "Well, I don't know what that was all about. You and I know each other. This was totally unnecessary, but okay." I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. You know what? It was totally unnecessary."
You know why they're over embellishing with the masked men and the growing number of masked men. Braun Breaker's going to be one of those masked men a couple weeks from now.
Really?
Guarantee it. Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's going to be back.
It's still not worth doing all of this for weeks and weeks and weeks.
I don't know.
Regardless.
We'll see. It was largely a waste of 15 minutes to open last night, which we will definitely talk about. And we got a lot to talk about here on Tuesday Night Titans. That's episode 138. Thank you guys very much. Killed it last week. I have to mention 44,000 views last week on last week's episode. And we were not disliked botted because we had 99% thumbs up. So look at that. No dislike botting.
How about that?
I know.
How about that?
Yeah.
That's right.
We don't have anybody paying $250 to 65,000 dislikes on TNT. Thank God.
You have to be quite the loser to do something like that, to waste your money on something like that.
Well, it's pro wrestling. I am not surprised in either of you. So
I'm not surprised. Not at all.
No, we'll talk about all that stuff. We'll talk about Cody and the dislike bomb on his WWE Championship victory, which I know I didn't have a problem with. I heard Jason talk about it. He doesn't have a major problem with it. We're not losing sleep over it. I know the IWC loves to get in their feelings, but we will make sense of it all. We will talk about Monday Night Raw last night. We had a couple of big things that happened. Finn Balor has been betrayed by the Judgment Day. Or Balor betrayed the Judgment Day because it was coming either way. So we'll talk about that. Punk and the Usos, another great segment in the build for Punk and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. We got news on Brock Lesnar. Apparently he doesn't want to lose to anybody until the day he retires. And then ESPN. No more grading for WWE PLEs because WWE had their feelings hurt. And now they told ESPN, no, we can't do that. The PLEs are going to remain largely shitty, but no F gradings or no D gradings for ESPN. So we'll talk about that as well. That was reported by Brandon Thurston, and we'll get into all that stuff. But thank you guys very much for all of your supports. You guys know where to find us. Everything is linked down below in the description. We have a big month coming up. We have a show coming up on the 21st, Jason. I'll let you talk about that on Long Island in Brentwood, House of Glory, March 21st.
Yeah, we have a show coming up. It's called Super Clash. Last time we did an event in conjunction with the big event was in November. And so we're running it back again. That is going to be on Saturday the 21st. We've got actually the Acclaimed are going to be on the show. They're going to be in action. We have Mina, JD. Mina is coming.
Ooh, we love Mina.
Yes, Mina Shirakawa. And as far as matches so far, we're going to be announcing more as the days go on here, but Amazing Red and Sammy Guevara. First time ever. So that's going to be a fun one. And a bunch of other fun stuff planned as well. I know people will come in sometimes for the convention. They'll stay for the event later that day. And so whatever you're going to be doing that day, if you're going to stick around for the show, it's going to be worth your while. You can get tickets right now, hogwrestling.net, and we'll be there. We'll be probably walking the floor during the convention. So
I will be there. Jason will be there. Hopefully we'll see tantalizing Tony there like we saw last time. So
sure.
It was a good time.
Hopefully he's doing well. I know they just announced another match. Deonna Purrazzo versus Indy Hartwell just announced for that show. Just announced, yes.
There you go. Good to see Deonna Purrazzo doing her thing. So we will be there. Jason, also today, again, I'll give him the floor to talk about this. Uncrowned went up today. Another great episode.
It did, yes. Episode 5. Wow. There's been 5 of them already.
That's unbelievable.
We're just zipping through. But yeah, the Uncrowned Wrestling Show is up on the Ariel Helwani Show feed. Went up a little bit earlier today. So hopefully if you didn't listen to it already, you'll be able to check that out in the morning, whatever you may be doing tomorrow. It's an easy listen. About an hour and 23 minutes, I believe, is what the latest episode clocked in at. A lot of WWE stuff, some AEW stuff, some TNA stuff, a couple of other fun stories as well. So go ahead and support and go check that out over on Ariel's channel.
It's crazy. You do 2 hours of the sound off. You do 2 hours on Raw on Monday night. You do an hour and a half of the Uncrowned, and then you're here for 3 hours with me. So
and then I'm here for 8 hours on Tuesday nights. So sure, it all balances out.
Look at that.
Wednesday we have Dynamite, and then Friday we have SmackDown.
Busiest guy in the industry, man. Look at this guy.
It feels like it. It really does. If I feel like I don't even take bumps, and I feel like I've taken a million bumps. I'm still sore from traveling to Chicago the other day in that very uncomfortable seat. I don't know what I think they switched my plane out to a transport plane or something going home, because this was the shittiest. I mean, in terms of the seat itself, like no cushion on my bony ass for a couple of hours going home, and I'm still sore from it.
Well, hopefully you're flying in the lap of luxury going to Vegas.
I don't know if I'd say that. I wouldn't go that far.
We'll see. We'll both be in Vegas too. We'll talk about that in a couple of weeks, man. Everything is still being ironed out about that. As far as I'm concerned, we got a major announcement on my end. I got a new show coming up on Tuesdays as well. It's going to be me and the coach. So expect something of an announcement this week. It's not a new concept, but it's certainly a new concept for the internet wrestling community, and I think you guys are going to like it. So that's going to be taking place. I think next week is our first show. So look forward to that. Me and Jonathan Coachman. And 11 a.m. I believe is going to be the debut of the next of the episode next Tuesday. So it's going to be good, and I hope you guys are excited about that announcement coming up. He's in complete control of that. So I think either Thursday or Friday we'll be announcing that publicly to everybody. So look forward to that. Super chats are open. Get them on in. We will hang out with you as always at the end of the show. Hit that thumbs up. Helps us out tremendously. The reason why the streams do so well is because you guys love to engage. Comments, thumbs up, all that stuff helps us out tremendously, so please do that. And videos. Lots of news, lots of videos. Go check all that stuff out. You guys know where to find that. All right, my friend. What do you want to talk about?
Well, you mentioned the new head writer of Monday Night Raw. There was a bit of a shakeup on the SmackDown side. Going back to late last week, so why don't we start there? There was a change with the SmackDown creative team. Somebody took their ball and went back to their doghouse.
Yes.
Their bone, not their ball. Their bone, and went back to the doghouse.
Yes. Our good friend Road Dogg is now no longer a part of the WWE writing team on Friday Night SmackDown.
He's up for adoption.
Yes, he's up for adoption. So he left on Thursday. Dave Meltzer reported in the Wrestling Observer newsletter that word making the rounds internally is that he made the decision to leave his position on the writing team after receiving his annual performance review. Now, I mean, I don't think we really needed an internal performance review to see what type of nonsense was coming off Friday night, but I guess everybody needs one. Sources indicate that James was unhappy with the feedback provided during this review and chose to resign from his role as co-lead writer for SmackDown. Now, he originally returned to the company in 2014 and has been a fixture for the creative team for over a decade. He did some light work in NXT as well before then being moved to SmackDown around 2016. He worked with Ryan Ward then, but the difference is those were great shows. These are not. So we look at this situation, and everybody's celebrating his departure. It's been described as a personal decision that has been brewing for some time, and it coincides with broader shifts in the company's writing structure as the road to WrestleMania kind of ventures on here. We did get, and Jason mentioned, a new name to the Raw writing team. She's now lead writer. Alexandra Williams announced via LinkedIn on March 5th that she's been promoted to vice president and lead writer for Monday Night Raw. She previously served as a senior writer and producer who will now oversee the entire creative development on Monday night with Raw on Netflix. Ryan Ward has reportedly transitioned into a central role overseeing the creative for both Raw and SmackDown, while Williams and, correct me if I'm wrong how I'm pronouncing this, Beckstrom is his name? Jonathan Beckstrom?
Yes.
Is that it? Will continue to co-lead the Raw brand. And on the Blue brand, John Swicata remains as the lead voice following Brian James' exit. Now, Brian Alvarez mentioned basically what happened here is we got a creative shakeup on Raw and SmackDown, and it was hinted to me that it's possibly more to come. I'll say this. Has the creative been great as of late? It is not, and there are reasons for that. One of the biggest things was that it was going to happen. Braun Breaker beating CM Punk for the title was supposed to happen, and the elevation of Braun Breaker, and obviously Braun Breaker got hurt after Seth Rollins got hurt, Bronson Reed got hurt. I don't know why he's talking about that, because you can't really factor those things in. They just happen. But cycling back to Brian James, Jason, I know a lot of people are happy about this situation. Now, I never want to see... Road Dogg's always been kind of cordial with me. I know he's gotten into it with me way back when. I always thought he was a very nice guy. He's always, especially in the last few years, treated, fans with respect, and he's gone back and forth with me. I have no problem with him. I never want to see anybody lose their job. But as far as the writing team overall on SmackDown, we can sit there, and I see people blaming Road Dogg and celebrating, oh, Raw, SmackDown's going to be better. Things are going to be a lot better now. I don't think they're going to get a lot better, ever. Until we really have deep-rooted change. Now, I watched the show on Friday. I thought it was fucking terrible. Outside the Cody and Drew McIntyre stuff, I thought it was terrible. So even with Road Dogg not there, things are still largely the same, and it all falls in the lap of Triple H, who says the yes and the no. So until we have real change and we have some fresh ideas and maybe some new people sitting in that boardroom, I don't really see any change legitimately happening that's going to make the show better. Now, I know everybody celebrated this. What do you think about fans celebrating Road Dogg being the one here to walk away? I don't find it to be that big of a deal because the show still largely sucks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really see the show radically changing. I mean, and we don't know. I mean, he tendered his resignation apparently on Thursday. So for all we know, the show was written, and his influence, whatever influence he still had left on the show, may have still been there, right? I mean, we'll see in the weeks to come, I guess. But part of what I recall is at the beginning of the year, if you remember, there was this admission supposedly that changes need to be made to SmackDown. Remember, there were some minor adjustments that were supposedly being made to the creative team.
Yeah.
It's entirely possible Road Dogg, and maybe this is part of why he was unhappy, that maybe some of his responsibilities were taken away from him. Maybe he might have been the co-lead writer, but we don't know how much influence he had on the show. So, as far as you saying you don't like seeing anybody lose their job, I mean, look, he quit. He didn't get fired. So if people want to, be happy about the fact that he's no longer tied into the SmackDown, end of creative, then by all means, because as a consumer of the product, as somebody who watches that show week to week, we know what it's been in the past, and we know what it's been in more recent, months. It's not great. And so any change is welcome. Whether it's Road Dogg or anybody else on that SmackDown side, any change is welcome, because what they're doing now week to week, it's not great television. And we want to see it improve. We want to see the show made more exciting. We want the show to just flow better. It's tough when you have 3 hours every single week. And we're going to have 3 hours every week for at least another, 4 or 5 months probably. Then maybe it'll go back to 2 hours. And even when it goes back to 2 hours, it doesn't mean that it magically becomes good again, right? You need to have a vision, no pun intended, at the top of the, creative end here. You have to have a vision that works for the show. You need to put the pieces where they belong in terms of the talent. You can have the most talented roster in the world, but if you're not utilizing them the right way, it doesn't matter. If Road Dogg's departure will help facilitate some sort of change, great. Do I think it will? Probably not. I'm skeptical. But again, it's important to point out he wasn't fired and oh my God, now he's lost work or whatever. He opted to leave. There was something that obviously upset him, whether it was his performance review or they took certain, responsibilities away from him. And he said, you know what? I'm out of here. And look, his portrayal in Unreal Season 2 did not paint him in the best light. Okay, to say the least.
It's the first thing I mentioned on social media.
Yeah. He just came off as very, very defensive and just he wears his heart on his sleeve. Right?
Very stupid.
Emotional.
Yes.
Emotional. And look, that could be a good thing, right? If you believe in your ideas that much, or you're standing up for an idea that you think is going to work. But the problem is, or at least the way they edited it, on the show, he was pitching stuff, and when he was pushed on it or pushed back on certain things, the way he would react is basically to just kind of shut down and go, well, then I guess all my ideas are shit. Let's just move on. And it's like, well, no, if you have an idea, or I'm just telling you why I don't think this is going to work, or I'm trying to get a sense of where you're coming from on this idea. And he would just react very defensively. And I'm like, is this a regular occurrence? Because he's pitching ideas that, like, on the show, you listen to it and it's like, yeah, I kind of agree with Triple H in this case, where it doesn't really make a lot of sense. And then he's like, well, I guess everything is the shits. And I'm like, what? Like, that's your response to this? It didn't paint him in the best light. Here's the sense that I get. Eric Bischoff said something about this on his podcast, and I think that there's probably some truth to this, where Road Dogg is not a corporate guy. And I don't know that he really fits into that environment. Maybe that was part of what was going on here. The way that he operates, it might not jive with the way that company and that writer's room operates right now. Maybe he just wasn't a good fit. He was the lead writer in 2017, 2018 on SmackDown. That's a long time ago. And it was under totally different ownership. Maybe he just didn't fit in. Maybe it just wasn't a good fit. So if he felt he had to leave, you know what? It's probably for the better. But the question is, where does that responsibility shift over to now? Is it this John Swakata? Is it somebody else? Is it Ryan Ward? Are they going to bring in somebody new? We don't know.
Road Dogg was a part of SmackDown back in 2018 when Jinder Mahal won the WWE Championship.
And we don't know that was his idea, but yes, that is.
Well,
that is true.
I'm sure it was Vince's idea, but he was co-lead writer with Ryan Ward. So anybody that was a part of that era of SmackDown and went along with all that, I don't think belongs on the writing team here. Goodbye.
Throw all that away. Honestly, throw it all away, because it was the Vince McMahon era.
I know.
Right? He was a fucking lunatic. And so whatever ideas that he had, that he was really he really believed in them, you could have the best writer in the world. You could have Michael Crichton, writing Raw or SmackDown. You could have fucking Shakespeare. It doesn't matter. Like
James Cameron working alongside Vince McMahon.
Sure, absolutely. It doesn't matter, though. It doesn't matter, because Vince McMahon was going to go with whatever he believed in. And remember, it was an audience of one. They were writing for an audience of one. That era is over. So as far as I'm concerned, it's old news, a different administration, throw it away. We just judge the shows now on what we see week to week. And a lot of us happen to not think that SmackDown has been, a very good show now for quite some time. So again, any change is welcome. Maybe in 3 months or 6 months, we'll look back and be like, holy shit, I didn't think it could get worse, but somehow it got worse. It's hard to believe, though, that the show could get, any worse. I would like to think it can only improve from here.
Well, Braun Strowman said that his show is coming back for a season 2, so keeping my fingers crossed that will result in SmackDown going back to 2 hours around July, August, maybe.
Well, that's what happened last year. It was, I think, the beginning. Well, yeah, I remember now, because I remember going live on my stream, and it was the 4th of July. And I said, not only are we celebrating our independence, our nation's independence, but we are celebrating our independence from 3 hours of SmackDown, and we had a big celebration. So it was around July 4th last year. Hopefully we won't have to wait that long, but it probably will end up being around then.
Hopefully. Because this past Friday show was fucking boring. My God, we'll get into that Actually, right now, that's the big story this week. A lot happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot happened regarding Cody and Drew McIntyre, and the entire internet wrestling community just melted down into just a boiling pit of hatred and disgust, and it was quite the scene on social media. So Friday night comes, and I have my iPad here, and I got the results here pulled up from one of the websites. So
well, before you get into that,
yeah.
I mean, we were working the House of Glory shows, so
Yeah.
we weren't live on our channels that night. That naturally, big WWE title match happens that night, and foolishly, I'm like, well, maybe I can I'll just not check social media, and maybe I'll avoid spoilers, and that way, I'll watch it later that night or the next day, and I won't know who's going to win, the main event. And of course, I went on social media, and on Twitter, they have the top stories, right, that they curate for your timeline. And I see anger over title change on SmackDown. So this was such a big deal that people were so upset that it, right there, boom, spoiler headline right there, new champion, people pissed off. So it was unavoidable because that's how I guess the rage had boiled over with some people. It became the big trending topic on Friday night. It was unavoidable.
Well, I mean, Jesse was sitting right next to me while we were calling. I believe it was during the Bishop Dyer Zilla Fatu match, and he picks up his phone. He shows me Cody winning the championship. I'm like, wow, man, shocker there. Shocker. Nobody expected that. So the match itself was fine. They gave them basically the last half an hour of the show, and it was largely commercial free. So Rhodes, I'll pick it up at the end here just to give you guys a setup for what happened and then what happened in the aftermath. McIntyre set Rhodes up for a Claymore. He blocked it, and Rhodes decided to pull a Claymore out of his own pocket and hit a Claymore on Drew for a near fall. So the referee twice avoided chaos here because McIntyre pulled him in the way of Rhodes' disaster kick, and then the referee goes out. So the referee's down, and they're fighting still. And McIntyre avoided a big splash by Cody. He chopped at Cody. So we get into the ending here with the referee out cold. A second referee comes in. McIntyre hits a Claymore on Rhodes. And it was legitimately, that was the last shot for McIntyre. He wasn't winning the title there. It's over. It was literally a 2.999. McIntyre threw Rhodes shoulder first into the ring post. And then he turned his attention to the referee and hit him with a headbutt out of frustration. Don't know why he would do that, but that's what happened. McIntyre went out of the ring. He went to go grab a chair. And Jacob Fatu, all of a sudden, shocker, comes out of nowhere and ripped the chair away from Drew McIntyre. Rolled up McIntyre, a kick out of the two. McIntyre then hit a future shock and had Rhodes in position for another Claymore. Rhodes moved out of the way. Super Cody cutter, crossroads, and that was it. And we have a new champion. So people were very upset about the way things went down. And the big story was WWE uploaded this video, Jason, to their YouTube channel. And the way YouTube has things set up now is you can see someone's likes, but you can't see the dislikes. I could see the dislikes because I use Google Chrome, and I downloaded a YouTube dislike function via Google Chrome in the Chrome store, and I downloaded that extension to my Google Chrome, and I can see everybody's dislikes and likes. So yesterday, when I looked, I believe it was at 180,000 or so dislikes. But the reason why there were so many dislikes is because a crazy fan, went and bought bots to dislike the video. Now, this ended up being the most disliked video on WWE's YouTube channel of 2026. And people were legitimately angry, but this guy was so angry that he paid $250 for 65,000 dislikes and threatened to do more and threatened to get it over 100,000, which indeed happened. I don't know how much he paid in total, but this guy showed receipts. He showed whatever he did picture-wise on social media, and then swiftly his profile was deleted. Whether Twitter took it down or he deleted it himself, I don't know. I don't care. But this ended up being the most disliked video of the entire year for WWE. And then people were up on what happened and figured out that it was a dislike bombing. So this guy says, I bought it $65K. I'm not a Roman or Drew fan. I just want to see how everybody would react. LOL. He went on to say, you're welcome. Already paid for another $100K tomorrow. And the title change sure, it angered a lot of people, Jason, but to this extent, should it have angered people this much that they went and disliked the video as if that would do anything? What was your initial reaction to this?
Oh, to the story of
the dislike botting. Yeah, let's start with that.
Well, I mean, like I said before, you have to be a real fucking loser. I mean, to spend that much money.
What was his name? His Twitter handle, by the way, was @RawAfterMania40. Man, that sounds like a troll, huh?
Well, I would love to know when that profile was created. You know, if it was a new profile or if it had existed for a while. Yeah, I mean, look, was I shocked that somebody would do that? Sadly, no. I just think it's sad and pathetic more than anything else. But look, you don't need to bot 65,000 dislikes to know that there were a lot of people who were very upset over the finish of that match. And also, you didn't even mention the cagematch.net stuff. Now, and again, I know it's Cage Match, but still, I mean, I think they had it as like one of the worst reviewed WWE shows of all time. Now, look, SmackDown on Friday was not a great show, but one of the worst shows of all time. I mean, maybe if you were watching the product for about 4 months, but that's a little much.
What is the grading audience over there, man? What is that, out of 20 people, 25 people?
I'm sure maybe 40. I'm sure the number's a little bit higher than that. But it was obviously people who were just upset about the result of the main event. Now, I can understand people who are sick of Cody, right? And they don't want to see him as the champion, and they were just upset that he won. He always wins. He's going into what I believe now is going to be his 5th WrestleMania main event. If you count WrestleMania 40 as 2 separate main events. He's got some catching up to do if he wants to catch up to Roman, but he's well on his way. So I get it. I understand it. And look, I even have some Cody fatigue myself. But at the same time, you can't honestly be shocked or surprised that they would put the belt back on Cody, because they never intended to take the title off of him in the first place, right? I'm sure the idea was always for him to go into WrestleMania as the defending champion. It came down to a last-minute decision by Paul Levesque back in January. Apparently, he was being lobbied by Cody and Drew that, hey, you should do this title change. And I'm glad they did. And I think we were both in agreement about this, because they had to do something. They had to, first of all, they had to put the belt on Drew, because he would have been completely neutered if he would have been beaten again. But just shake things up a little bit, you know, on this road to WrestleMania, even if it was just for a short period of time. And that's what they did. They put the belt on him on January 9th. And so 2 months later, roughly 2 months, they put the belt back on Cody. But you know what? At least I'm happy they actually went through with the title change in January. That's what I wanted them to do with Kevin Owens the year before.
Imagine they didn't do it.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, you would have cut his nuts off right then and there. But like, I was hoping for the same thing with Kevin Owens the year before. And instead they went kind of a different way with it, he's walking around with the Winged Eagle belt. But there's no harm in having a short run, a short little detour, right, before you get to WrestleMania. So that's what they did. And now they're going with what they feel is going to be the strongest possible main event that they could go with on the SmackDown brand. And they're not wrong, because Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton is a big WrestleMania main event caliber match. Now, if they would have kept the belt on Drew, I would have been okay with a fatal 4-way. Because I think they've actually done a good job of building tension between all 4 of the men that would be in that match: Cody, Drew, Randy, and Jacob.
Yeah.
And I think you could have absolutely allowed Drew McIntyre to walk into WrestleMania as the champion. He wasn't going to leave. I mean, that wasn't going to happen, right? He's filming a movie immediately after that. So you have this, doubt about who the belt is going to go to at WrestleMania. It could go to Cody, but I could see it going to Randy. Maybe Jacob, right? So I would have been cool with that too. But I can't hate on Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, dude. We've been talking about this match now for how fucking long? And they've waited and dragged their feet. Now we're finally going to get it. Now it's up to them these next 6 weeks to actually build a story around it. And I know they have history together, but how are they going to tell that story? We'll find out, because they're going to go face-to-face on Friday. But Cody and Randy is a match that a lot of us have been waiting for. And now we're going to get it at WrestleMania. I can't hate on that. Right? As fatigued as you may be from Cody, there's some real great potential here with what they will do coming out of this match. So I'm fine with it.
Before I get into my opinion on on the whole new main event of WrestleMania. I use vidIQ on my Google Chrome. It's a YouTube extension. It helps me out tremendously with analytics and all that stuff. It's really in depth. So I have that with the dislike extension from Google Chrome. Now, supposedly, I'm looking at the video now. That's why I turned it on. 199,000 thumbs down. 199,000 thumbs down. So YouTube usually, between 24 to 48 hours, if they notice any suspicious activity, would have already reversed it. Now, vidIQ is saying that there's estimated 385,000 dislikes. The raw dislike count, which is more than likely the real number, is 7,055. Estimated likes, 39,122. So we may be looking at this being a legitimate case of being dislike botted. So I just wanted to throw that out there for you guys in case you still see the number still very high. If you got that extension and are looking at what I'm looking at. One of the top comments in the thread, in the comment section, is ruthless depression, ... And it's got 15,000 thumbs up. So like Jason said, there is a sheer number of people that just don't like this creative decision. 199,000 dislikes worth? Maybe. Who the fuck knows? I'm not going to sit here and say it's all fake. The outrage is fake. There are people that legitimately don't like this. Now, to piggyback off what Jason said, I have no problem with Cody Rhodes winning the championship. If Drew McIntyre was going to win the championship, which I'm glad that he did, albeit 2 months ago and lost it already, I'm glad that he did because he would have been creatively fucked to a point where I don't think he would really bounce back from that. It would take him a long amount of time to get back from that. Realistically, he should have won the title at WrestlePalooza because we talked about this, and Randy Orton was supposed to come in there and cost Cody Rhodes the championship accidentally, and Drew McIntyre was supposed to be the champion then.
Well, that was their idea that they pitched, and it got rejected. Now, look, on that, sure, you could have done it at WrestlePalooza. I think even if you waited until Survivor Series,
sure,
like even Survivor Series would have been fine because I could see. He just beat John Cena at SummerSlam to get the belt back. I could understand if they didn't want to take the belt off Cody the very next month. But no later than Survivor Series. Realistically, Drew should have had that championship.
Yeah, and then they got put into the War Games matches, and they only got put into the War Games matches because they were basically feuding with each other and only added to the rest of the conflict.
That and the injuries also. But they did not need to be in the War Games match.
No.
But again, it may be a case. It may just be one of those cases where, because we heard this past week also, where TKO looked at it, or WWE looked at it and said, well, you know what? Let's put the belt on Drew because then we can have Cody in the Rumble, and we could have Cody in the Chamber, and maybe they wanted Cody in the War Games match as well, right? Because he's their QB1, so they want to have him in all these big main event matches and all these PLEs. But that's the one thing I would have done differently. I would have had that belt on Drew at least a few months before they put it on him. And not waited until the beginning of this year.
Yeah, it's a sound business move to put Cody in those matches, but that's not the reason why they took the belt off of him, is to put him in those matches. There were other reasons. That was just a small part of it. That's what the report said, that they took the belt off him because they wanted him in the Chamber and in the Rumble. No, they took the belt off him because Drew needed the belt more than anybody. Cody didn't need the belt. So
yeah, but you honestly believe that's the main reason they put the belt on Drew?
I'm saying that's
Drew needs. They didn't give a fuck about Drew. If they gave a fuck about Drew, then they would have had the belt on him a lot sooner. So
Cody certainly pushed for it too. I mean, you're not going to tell no.
That's what I'm saying. Like the overriding reason, right? I can't get in Paul Levesque's brain, so I can't say for sure. But clearly, he had to be lobbied on this decision.
Yes.
In order for him to make the decision. So I'm sure a lot of it had to do with Drew and Cody going to bat for this idea and saying, "Look, this is what we think should happen." And then ultimately he made the decision. But the idea that the reason they did it was because Drew needed it. Like,
well, Cody knew Drew needed it. Otherwise, it was going to be fucking.
I'm saying the company, though,
yes.
AAA, the creative team. Like that's not the reason why they put the belt on.
No. Triple H woke up in cold sweats thinking about taking the belt off Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, I mean, if that was the reason, we wouldn't be in a position to be talking about like he needs to win this or else it's over.
This guy fucking needed to be drugged on the fucking corporate plane to make this decision. Come on.
Yeah, never would have gotten to that point.
So I have no problem with this. Everybody made this out to be the worst creative decision of the last fucking 10, 15 years. And listen, you guys really, you express your emotions in a way that's kind of comical. We all do. I do it. I do it more than anybody, but you got to have some sense of fucking logic behind what you're talking about. This is not worse than what we had to live through with John Cena in the John Cena era. This is nowhere close to the Big Dog era. You know, I had to live through Hogan. Jason had to live through Hogan ending how many fucking WrestleManias with Real American every single year. I hated Shawn Michaels as a babyface. I couldn't stand him. So I lived through all these different eras and all these different baby faces that we had to be forced to like and accept as the company guy. I don't feel that way towards Cody. I don't. Not yet, anyway. And the fans don't either. Like 199,000 dislikes, until that starts to translate into the live paying audience that sits in that arena every Friday, WWE's not going to change their mind. They're not turning him heel. They're not taking the belt off him. He's not going to be fucking quarterback benched. He's not going to be any of these things.
They cheered when he won the belt on Friday. It wasn't like the crowd booed and rejected the title win. They cheered. So you can't say that everyone is sick of Cody. I mean, yes, there's a segment of the audience that is sick of Cody, but he got cheered when he won on Friday. Like there's a divide. There's a divide in the fan base, and maybe there's a disconnect between the fans that are, you know, kind of inherently on the internet or on social media all the time, and the ones who just kind of pay to, I don't want to say they're more casual, but the ones that actually pay these prices and buy these tickets to go to these shows. There's clearly a fatigue from a portion of the fan base when it comes to Cody. And I agree. I think buried within him is a really good heel run.
Yeah.
But until they have taken the time to develop a replacement for him, someone who can step in right away and take that spot on day one when they turn him heel.
Full time, by the way, not part time.
Until that day, it is foolish to talk about turning him heel.
No.
It doesn't matter how fun you think it would be or it would freshen up his character. That may all be true, but if they turned him heel at WrestleMania this year, who is the person the obvious person who steps up and takes his place as the face of the company and the quarterback, as he calls himself? Who's that person? Who's ready to right now that the company will get behind to step into that spot and do all of the things that Cody is doing now? Not just be a babyface on TV, but all the other things that Cody does.
Jason, there is one guy, but he's 47 years old. CM Punk.
And his name is?
CM Punk.
No. I mean, he's that guy on Raw, but yeah, CM Punk, Randy Orton, that's not the answer. It can't be CM Punk. CM Punk is the world heavyweight champion on Raw, and CM Punk is old enough, it should not be him. This is my point. Who is that? And I know Cody's not.
Are we talking about specifically on SmackDown?
Yeah, well, we're talking on SmackDown, but you can say the face of the company. But yes, we're also talking on SmackDown because Cody is the head face on SmackDown.
Oh, the true face of the company is Roman Reigns, and he's there fucking 20 times out of the year.
Well, that's the problem. That's the problem. And I'm not convinced there'll be a babyface coming out of WrestleMania, but we'll see. But the answer is that there isn't. They have not done a good job of setting up that obvious next person. Jacob Fatu, maybe one day that can be him. I don't see that being him right now.
No.
Oba Femi, maybe one day, but right now that's not him. Who is that person? You could let's turn Cody heel. Okay, well, what's your backup plan? What's your backup plan? Because Cody is still that guy for them. That's what people don't understand. Who is that person?
Trick Williams. Now, Trick Williams is that guy, but he's not anywhere close to that yet, guys.
Maybe if the story had gone a different way, maybe they could have done a double turn with Cody and Drew. I mean, that ship seemingly has sailed. Maybe that could have been an idea, and then maybe Drew could have stepped into that spot. But the point is, like, they right now they don't have that obvious person, which is why I think they're going to be resistant to turning him heel anytime soon.
Guys, you're naming Trick and Jacob and Sammy. Jacob is going to be a future piece of Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn's fucking in his later part of his career than he is the beginning. What are you talking about?
Face of the company?
Listen, the Cody Rhodes hate is forced. Some of it is forced. Not all of it, because I get it. You guys are living through what we had to live through in a different era. I get it. We lived through all the names that I mentioned. You're living through Cody. Cody and the hate is forced from what I see, because the WWE, even though they want to brand him as QB1, hasn't given him a lot to work with outside of what he's currently working with right now. When he won the championship, he didn't do anything that entire year. The best thing he did was feud with Kevin Owens, and that didn't really wrap up until the Royal Rumble the following year. And then he got thrust into this John Cena shit, which you all know how that turned out. So what exactly does Cody have to his name as far as WWE Championship true story and true title reign. They haven't given him much of anything. This is the first real meal that he sat down at the table and enjoyed. Drew McIntyre, Jacob Fatu, the interaction with Sami Zayn, now Randy Orton. Everything is forced, and the hatred for Cody is genuinely just... It's quite concerning how wrestling fans look at these guys, like Cody Rhodes. When Cody Rhodes is gone, you're going to wish you had Cody Rhodes back. And I'm not saying that as a glazer for Cody Rhodes. I'm not a huge Cody Rhodes guy, but I genuinely appreciate what Cody Rhodes brings to the table. And what you guys aren't looking at is, and I mentioned this on my video that I uploaded this past weekend, you are looking at Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes, which is something that nobody should be complaining about because it's a WrestleMania match and what really embodies WrestleMania. And then Punk and Roman on the other side for night 2. This is the best set of plans that WWE had for WrestleMania outside of the original plans, which were Reigns and Rollins and Punk and Cody. If Rollins didn't get hurt, your WrestleMania main event would be fucking top tier, some of the best that we've seen in years, night 1 and night 2. The best set of plans that followed that is what WWE is doing right now. So they took the belt off Drew McIntyre to make those plans a reality. And also, you guys are not thinking about, why would you tie up 4? And granted, like Jason said, I would not mind the Fatal 4-Way. But you're going to tie up 4 of the biggest guys on Friday Night SmackDown in one match for one championship instead of making SmackDown better represented at WrestleMania. I don't understand why you put SmackDown in one match and then leave everything else just kind of like blank. How are you going to represent SmackDown at WrestleMania with 4 guys in one match? Now you got Cody and Randy. Now you got Drew and Fatu. And hopefully it works out in a way where we get Sammy and Trick potentially. You're going to get Mello and Ilya potentially. You got Rhea and Jade for the Women's Championship. That's 5 matches that are going to represent SmackDown at WrestleMania. Whereas you got all 4 of these guys tied up in one match. How does that make the WrestleMania card? It makes it look weaker.
Well, I mean, look, I think you're exaggerating a little bit because, look, if you put all 4 of those guys in one match, what are you really losing? You're losing one other match. And you didn't, the hope is that maybe I could see Julia and Tiffany being a U.S. title match on that show on the SmackDown side. So that's another one. And then you would have your 5. So that's not even my issue with them potentially doing a 4-way. I mean, I kind of get what you're saying, but I think it wouldn't be that big of a deal because they have built up a lot of, bad blood between these 4 guys. And I'm usually not a fan of these multi-man WrestleMania main events. Some of the ones that we've gotten have been great. Look at the triple threat last year. Actually, I mean, we had 2 great triple threats last year. But the triple threat that closed night 1 was an excellent match. And you could point to other WrestleManias as well. WrestleMania 20, WrestleMania 30. So I'm sure it would have been a great match. But the point is, Cody and Randy is the match that, to me, when I see that, because they have stayed away from it outside of the King of the Ring final, that to me says WrestleMania. And Randy... Yeah, it's kind of surprising. Randy hasn't been in the WrestleMania main event in a long time. Like, this, I think, is only going to be his 2nd or 3rd. I think 3rd.
And now he's in there with somebody he has a rich history with.
But again, that's true. But the question now becomes, what is going to be the story of this match? Right? Are they just going to be very respectful to each other for the next 5 or 6 weeks? We saw what happened with Punk and Roman, right? Where they're kind of digging back into their history, and now it's all about respect. I want to see what story they tell between them. There's a lot to draw from there. Is one going to act more heelish than the other, right? Like, let's see what happens on Friday, and then we'll be able to better judge, like, are they doing a good job, or are they dropping the ball with it? If they drop the ball with it, I don't even know what to say. This should be a slam dunk right here. In terms of storytelling with these 2, this should be a no-brainer.
Well, neither one of them may turn heel, honestly, with the inclusion of Sami Zayn. You mentioned last week Sami Zayn, you felt like Sami may go heel. I didn't really get that sense, and I hope that they didn't go that direction. But after what he did on Friday with Randy Orton and the interaction on SmackDown, I thought about what you said, and I'm like, maybe they are setting Sami Zayn up for something here as he turns heel. I don't know.
Sure. Well, what I'm saying is, like, I'm just saying in the build to the match, does one guy kind of give off more heelish vibes than the other one, or do they just play it like 2 baby faces until we get to WrestleMania? It doesn't mean that either one of them has to turn. I do feel, though, if you're going to close, let's say, night 1 with this match, I think you do want to have some kind of big twist ending. I don't think it's enough to just have Cody go in there and beat him clean.
No,
I don't think it's
I
enough.
hope that's not the case.
I hope not either. And even just if Randy just goes in there and beats him clean with an RKO and wins the championship, even that to me would feel underwhelming. So I feel like something has to happen either during the match or in the immediate aftermath of the match. Because I also think it gives you that good, like, big dramatic ending or cliffhanger ending that then takes you into night 2. And we've had a couple of years now where, like, the night 1 main event 2 years ago led directly into the night 2 main event. The big twist last year was Paul Heyman aligning with Seth Rollins and betraying Roman and CM Punk, and that led into night 2. There's got to be something that happens. And if not a heel turn, let's say for Randy Orton, then what would that be? Right? What would that big twist be at the end of night 1?
There might not be any twist on night 1. The twist might happen on night 2.
Well, I feel like there should be, but
somebody's going heel, whether it's Sammy, Randy, Cody, Punk, or Roman, because there's all baby faces involved in the 2 main events. Somebody's going heel.
You would think, but it's not going to be Cody.
No, it's not going to be Cody. Yeah. I would love a Cody heel turn, but it's not going to be Cody. Also,
not yet.
One last thing on the Drew McIntyre situation, him losing the championship. I'm glad he won the championship, and a lot of people aren't seeing what the championship has done for Drew, even though it was short in a 2-month reign. I genuinely think without winning the championship, the Jacob Fatu match is cold. I feel like with him winning the championship and Fatu costing him that championship, now the WrestleMania match and everything we've seen leading up to this outcome on Friday has a lot more heat to it than if he didn't win the championship and they were going into this cold and they were just coming off and piggybacking off of that angle that rode Jacob Fatu off television in November. So look at it that way, too. Drew McIntyre, though, he's not walking into Mania with the championship, which a lot of people feel like he should be walking in because he deserves it. He's still walking into a major WrestleMania match with a lot of heat and a lot of story now because of what happened with him winning the championship and Fatu chasing. Fatu had a reason because of the kick to the face and the championship. He was looking to cost Drew everything. So a lot of people really aren't looking at it and kind of dissecting it and watching what's going on. They just want to react because they didn't get what they wanted. And again, so, we all do that, but you have to look at it in a way that WWE, Jason, is at least trying. You mentioned before, like, SmackDown has been largely terrible, but they're trying to invoke some unpredictability into what's going on here, some twists and turns that we sorely need. They're at least trying with the main event, guys. I can't sit here and shit on it because they're fucking trying, and you see that they are trying.
So you still think that Drew McIntyre is the one who kicked Jacob Fatu in the face?
Yes. Huh? Bro, that's a dead angle, man. That's a dead angle.
I say he isn't. I say he isn't.
Who is it? Sami Zayn?
Either Randy Orton or Sami Zayn.
We'll see.
If Randy Orton punt kicks Cody at the end of night 1, that might give us a hint.
Possibly.
But I'm not convinced it was Drew. I have to believe they're going to circle back around to it, whether it is something with Sammy or Randy at the end of Mania, and then we'll kind of come back around to the fact that, oh my God, it was actually this guy. And then you could set up a program for Jacob now, coming out of WrestleMania.
So clearly this Cody-Randy situation is not going to be a one and done. I'm assuming they'll bleed it into Backlash, and it'll be at least a 3-match series. It's not going to be one and done, right?
I can't imagine, no.
So that's the plan. The idea of Randy and Cody was actually something they talked about around the Royal Rumble time. I have the story here. They were clued in on what was going on. Backstage news on Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton when they were made aware of their new WrestleMania plans. This is coming from Sean Ross Sapp. Both Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton were aware of the creative pitch for their WrestleMania match as early as January. So right around the Royal Rumble time, I'm assuming, because they had just taken the title of Cody on January 9th, 3 Stages of Hell. Now, while the title landscape has shifted considerably, Drew McIntyre winning the title, Cody and Drew have reportedly, or Cody and Randy rather, have been working with this specific destination in mind. So around WrestleMania, around Royal Rumble that was, for the WrestleMania match. So you guys get a glimpse of where they were thinking. They were probably thinking this all along. It wasn't something that happened just randomly out of the blue. We talked about it as to why Drew McIntyre won the championship. I mean, it's going to be a great match. I don't know why anybody's complaining. The top 2 matches are really great matches for WrestleMania, and I think we're really going to get, as far as that is concerned, some really great stuff there. So the dislike botting and everything else, the negativity and the hatred towards Cody, it's all social media bullshit. Please just don't get embroiled in it. It's the last thing you want to do. Now, as far as SmackDown, Jason, there was another big thing that happened on SmackDown, and I feel like we need to talk about it because there was a lot that kind of went into it. And when I watched it kind of unfold, I wasn't really all that pleased with the first interaction, and that is Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley. And they had a face-to-face on SmackDown. This is coming off their social media back and forth, but there was no mention at all about their social media back and forth in this promo. So the segment began with a handshake, and Cargill expressed a level of respect for Ripley's career, saying, "I gave you a handshake because I respect you, Rhea. I respect all of your accomplishments and how these people love you." Jade then quickly transitioned into critiquing Rhea Ripley's physical conditioning and her body, stating, "I'm not impressed. Your arms are big, but mine are bigger. Your legs are more muscular and powerful, but mine are more muscular and powerful." Jade Cargill concluded by saying that she is superior. "I am more worthy of the women's championship, and I will beat the hell out of you, Rhea, at WrestleMania." So then Rhea went on to say the same thing and shake Jade's hand. "I respect your honesty. I know that I know what you think about me. It might not impress, you that I am who I am and my body type, and you impress me physically." She then highlighted what she believes to be the fundamental difference in their training philosophy. She says, "The difference between me and you is that your body is built for show. Mine is built for fighting. You work out so you are more aesthetically pleasing. I work out to survive and thrive in this business." So she went on to finally say, "You can flex all you want, but I'm going to fight. And I will take that title, and I will take it with force. And there's not a damn thing you could do about it because I am that bitch." She ended the promo with Jade Cargill. Now, I'll give you the floor here, man. What'd you think of this initial reaction or face-to-face with Rhea and Jade? I was kind of disappointed, quite honestly.
Well, I mean, they certainly didn't work any of the previous comments and insults into the promo. They kept it very basic by basically complimenting each other's physique and then calling each other or calling themselves bitches, I guess. And that's basically, that's what they did. That's what they did. And it was a very, very basic promo. It was very basic. I still am not convinced that a lot of what we saw on social media was a shoot. Again, I think that there's some maybe real feelings in there from some of the women on the roster, but again, they're trying to hype up a WrestleMania match, but it didn't translate. They didn't take that and translate it to television. Now, I don't need them going on TV and breaking the fourth wall and talking about creative. That's nonsense. That's bullshit. I don't want people on television as part of an angle talking about the creative team, right? I mean, when they air commercials for Unreal during the shows, like that pisses me off enough. So what we had on Friday was just very, I don't know, it was very cold. You know what I mean? There's no history between them. So they have, even though I think it's the right match to do because Rhea is one of their biggest stars, it's on them now to kind of create and manufacture some believable tension between these two. And week one was not the home run that you would hope that they would hit. So we have to wait and see what week two and week three looks like. Are they going to be doing stuff on the show every week? Are they going to be on the show together again this week? Are we going to skip a week and come back to it next week?
Well, Jade is wrestling Meat Shin on Friday.
Is she?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. It's a hell of a battle right there.
I know, but when you can't miss, man.
Well, but did they say Rhea was going to be on the show, or did they not mention Rhea?
I didn't hear Rhea mentioned, but I'm assuming that she will be there.
Well, they're going to have to come up with some ways to heat this match up. And look, if they had gone with Charlotte Flair, it would be the same exact thing. They have to figure out a way to create real tension between these two. I think we're being spoiled in many ways by what we've had so far with Roman and Punk on Raw, who, honestly, until we see what they do with Cody and Randy on Friday, those two are carrying the bill to WrestleMania so far. And Roman's only been on like 2 shows. So they got to come up with something to really heat this thing up here.
Punk's the MVP this season. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, because he's on the show every week. Say what you want to about him, or he looks tired in some of his matches. He's slower than he used to be. Yeah, well, he's older. It's to be expected, but he's there every single week. He's wrestling, maybe not wrestling every week, but he's defending the championship on the shows. He's cutting promos. He's doing everything that he could possibly do, including last night, and Roman wasn't even there. But I think we're kind of spoiled because as great as the tension has been so far between those two, it hasn't translated to any of the other matches yet. And Rhea and Jade, it's a cold match, so you got to find a way to heat it up. And they didn't do that on Friday.
Yeah, and if they keep it cold, it's just going to come off poorly presented, and it needs something more. Like, Rhea's there because Rhea has earned her spot. Jade is there because WWE is trying to force something with her that I personally don't even... I don't even see.
Well, then why isn't that the promo? Why isn't the promo, you've been handed everything, and I've had to work for everything? Is that not the story? I mean, everything... Like, you talk about your body and you talk about your shoulders.
Well, she did say your body is the way it is because you want to be aesthetically pleasing. I took that as you don't give a fuck about this business. I put my body through what I do because I love this business. That's the way I interpreted it.
Well, I'm saying, though, like, you come out here and you talk about your body and you talk about your shoulders are bigger than mine, your legs and all this other stuff. But, at the end of the day, because of the way you look, you've been handed all of these opportunities. I've been scratching and clawing and fighting my way to the top as everybody else in that locker room has done. And to me, that probably is like the core story right there. Where Jade thinks that she's, she's the shit and she's, the top goddess on the show, but she's been handed everything. You haven't worked for it a day in your life. And just go from there and build it from there. But they were just out there complimenting each other's, physique. And it's like they were at the gym. It's like, hey, you got nice legs. All right, hey, you got nice shoulders.
I don't know.
All right, cool. How is that building a wrestling match between these two?
I'm gonna put you on the spot here. We saw what we saw on Friday with Jade and Rhea. If you were to compare what we got in the week 1 build of Tiffany and Charlotte last year, which one came off better to you after 1 week?
This one.
Okay. I'll probably swing that way too.
I thought the Tiffany and Charlotte stuff I thought was just largely a disaster.
Yeah.
At the beginning there, like they were trying too hard.
Yeah.
It felt very forced to me. This wasn't forced, but it just wasn't all that exciting. So I think they can build on this and they can improve from here. But like the Tiffany and Charlotte stuff. If it didn't feel forced and it actually felt like, okay, like they're both making really good points and they're really going at each other and I can believe they really don't like each other and they could kind of stay focused, it had the potential to be really good, but then it kind of just went off the rails. And remember, Charlotte was making like bird noises. I don't know what the fuck she was doing. It was a fucking disaster. And then the Kaiser line at the end, I don't know. This was not worse than that. I'm sorry, dude.
I didn't even like the match at Mania. I thought the match was bad. So
the match wasn't bad. And I wouldn't say it was bad. Charlotte's had better matches. The whole match
looked like they tried to sandbag each other the entire 9 minutes.
I kind of liked, you know what, though? It felt like a real battle between them. I thought that Tiffany's teeth were knocked out at the end of the match. Apparently it was, I think, her lipstick or whatever. But I can actually like sit here and tell you, like, I kind of like that aspect of the match because it did feel like they were really going at it in there. It wasn't a pretty match. A lot of like what Tiffany does is pretty, right? She looks like a human Barbie doll. And then she goes out there and does all the flips and the moonsaults and everything's all prim and proper and pretty. And so it really felt like for the first time she was in a fucking fight in that ring. So I didn't hate the match. It wasn't Charlotte's best WrestleMania match. She had a much better match with Rhea. But yeah, that segment and the build at the beginning there last year was, dude, that was a disaster.
Very, very bad television. WWE, speaking of the women, they're looking at a record-breaking number of women's matches for this year's WrestleMania. Now, this is coming from our friends over at WrestleVotes, courtesy of Fightful Select. They've indicated that there is an idea within WWE Creative that could see at least 6 women's matches across 2 nights of WrestleMania. This is piggybacking off the report that WWE is looking to have at least 7 matches per night for WrestleMania, totaling 14. I also heard that there may be 8 each night, totaling 16 matches. Now, that's a stretch. I mean, I'd have to wake up in fucking Dreamland to see 8 matches on a fucking Triple H PLE.
I mean, WrestleMania last year, I think, had 7 each night.
Yeah, 7's good.
I believe.
7's a good number.
Well, I'm saying, though, like, even if you had 8 one night and 7 on the other, because remember, one of those nights has the Hall of Fame inductees that come out to get introduced.
Yep.
So 8 and 7 even would be fine. Look, if they actually had 16 matches, I said this on my show, it would tie the all-time record for WrestleMania matches in one. You'd have to go all the way back to 88. They had a big tournament on that show, so we had 16 matches. So, but because it's divided up over 2 nights, that's fine. Obviously, you're not going to have 16 matches in one night. This is not, an AEW pay-per-view. So it would be great if we had even 8 and 7, 8 and 8. The idea of having 5 or 6 women's matches, to that I say good. I mean, look, the quality of the division overall, there's still very big depth issues on SmackDown. But if you look at the women that they have a lot of great women's wrestlers on their roster. You can't tell me that. And also, they have carried some of the shows over the past year. Whether it be some of the television shows, some of the PLEs. Evolution was one of my favorite shows all year last year. So you know what? Good. They deserve it. Give them 5 or 6 spots on the show. If you put the right matches together,
yes,
let them go out there. Some of the women's matches have stolen the show at WrestleMania over the last few years. They stole the show last year. So
yeah, it's hard to argue that.
Yeah, if you put together the right matches, I have no problem with that. Some people are going to look at that because they may not be a big fan of women's wrestling, and they're like, oh, great, half WrestleMania is going to be women's matches. I don't look at it that way. I'm like, good. It's about time.
I initially, I'm not going to bullshit. Yeah, I initially heard that report 6 matches. I'm like, that's a little overkill. But yeah, I agree 100% because I feel the same way Jason does. I mean, some of the best matches that we've seen in the last year have come from the women's division. And they've added more championships. So by default, you would think adding more championships, you get more women's matches on the shows. They added the IC title. They added the United States Championship. So I'm not saying both of those championships will be defended. One of them will at least be. But more championships means more opportunities and more matches at shows like WrestleMania.
Well, look, I mean, if you're going to have all of the other women's championships represented on that show, you have to have the U.S. title on the line. Like, it would be a supreme slap in the face to Julia if the 2 women's world titles, the tag team titles, and the IC title are all defended on WrestleMania and the U.S. title is relegated to SmackDown. Okay, that would be fucking bullshit. And it just so happens that Tiffany Stratton has no obvious match at WrestleMania. Now, there was another report today, and I don't know if you have it there. I don't remember who it was that broke the story today, so forgive me. But the report was that the original planned WrestleMania match was going to be Julia, Jordynne Grace, and Tiffany Stratton in a triple threat for the U.S. title. That match is out because Jordan has an ankle injury. I don't know if it's broken. Did you see the...
I did.
Ugh.
That did not look good, no.
She posted on her social media, she's like, my ankle glitched in real life. So that didn't look good. Apparently, she's out of the plans for WrestleMania.
Do they have a diagnosis on her? Is she going to be out for a while, or is that like
there's no diagnosis? There's no diagnosis, but this report indicated that was, I guess, the original plan, and now that plan is probably not going to happen. Maybe the diagnosis ends up not being so bad, but that didn't look good. But I wasn't even thinking of Jordan being involved in that. I figured Julia and Tiffany by process of elimination is the match that makes sense, because what else is Tiffany going to do? They're going to leave her off the card? She was wrestling for the championship last year. Julia needs an opponent. Dude, Julia and Tiffany. You can't leave her off the show. You can't leave Julia out if all the other titles are being defended.
They're running out of time here. It's going to be, by the time Friday comes, it's 5.5 weeks till WrestleMania. You're going to manufacture a Tiffany and Julia match for nothing?
Fine. Look, right now their focus should be the top matches on that show. Okay, you got to get Rhea and Jade going. You got to get Cody and Randy going. That's where their focus should be right now. They're less concerned, I'm sure, about the possibility of Julia and anybody. If they start cooking something up between them in a couple of weeks, that's fine. As long as they have something for her to do on that show. You can't leave her off the show.
I think there was an
you may as well retire the belt if you're going to do that.
I know. I think there was an interaction with Tiffany and Julia at some point. I forgot when, though.
I think there was. Yeah. Well, there's been a lot of interactions lately between Tiffany and Chelsea Green and Alba Fire. But Chelsea's got the ankle. I don't know what her status is. I don't know where she would fit in there. I'll tell you what, if Chelsea is healthy, maybe she can be fit in there. You do a triple threat with Chelsea involved.
Well, I mean, I would rather just Julia and Tiffany and then put Chelsea and Alba in the tag team stuff, because I originally thought that Julia and Kiana were going to be mixed into that fatal 4-way conglomeration for the women's tag team championships. You just had the Bellas. I think Charlexa was going to be part of that, Nia and Lash, Julia, Kiana, and I thought the Bellas were going to show up and make it a fatal 4-way. I don't know.
I think there's going to be a fatal 4-way, but I didn't factor Julia and
No.
Kiana in there just because Julia. I know they were in the segment with them on TV last week, but just because Julia has her own belt, she should be defending it. I figure in the tag team thing, you got Nia and Lash defending against the Bellas, Charlotte and Alexa, and then maybe Raquel and Roxanne.
Okay.
To get Raquel a match on the show.
Yeah, I could see that. I listen. If that's the match, let's kind of map this out. If that's the match, then you got Jade and Rhea. You got Liv and Stephanie. You're probably looking at, I would say, AJ Lee. We'll talk about that in a little bit. AJ Lee's
and
gonna,
Becky.
Maybe Bailey. Maybe a triple threat I said last night.
No. I think Bailey and Lyra end up as maybe that fourth team.
Okay. And then what else are we looking at?
Well, let's talk about this, okay? Because we had a gauntlet match on Raw last night.
Yeah.
So you bring up Bailey. Bailey is wrestling AJ Lee next week for the Intercontinental title.
Side note, I swear to God, I thought your Ivy Nile prediction was going to come true.
I was like, boy, it's looking good. Ivy Nile did what Rhea Ripley hasn't been able to do. She pinned Io Sky.
Like, this guy's going to be fucking right, man. I thought Io was going to go all the way, and then Ivy pins her in 5 seconds.
But I tell you what, though, honestly, in that gauntlet match last night, the one who impressed me the most and looked the best out of all of them, I thought, was Ivy Nile. And she was out there. First of all, I've never seen her arms that like fucking ripped before. And then, she had like the delayed suplex spot. She had her up for like 20 seconds. Of anybody who really stood out in that match, I thought it was a good night for Ivy. And Ivy, I think, would benefit from being moved to SmackDown because SmackDown could use someone like her, I think, right now on that show. But I bring up the gauntlet because Io was eliminated. And then they had Raquel was all upset because she had eliminated Raquel. So she lawn darted Io into the post. And the match is over and Bailey wins. And I'm like, what the hell are they doing with Io at WrestleMania, right? And I'm like, surely they're not setting up just like a singles match between Io and Raquel, because to me, that's a Raw match. And I still feel like the path forward, and we'll see how they get there, is one-on-one Io and Asuka. And Kyrie doesn't have to be in the match. It doesn't have to be a triple threat, but I do think the Kyrie stuff will factor into it, where when it's all said and done, she's finally, broken free of the spell of Asuka. But you do Io and Asuka. I think that's another match on that show.
Yeah, I literally said the same thing. I don't know how we get there. I thought they were going to get there by her winning the gauntlet, losing to AJ Lee next week, having Asuka mess that up, build from there. But I don't know. I said the same thing with Io. What does Io do? You're leaving Io off for WrestleMania right now, 5.5 weeks to go. 5 weeks as we come to next Monday. Yeah. I thought we'd get maybe a triple threat match with AJ Lee, Becky, and Bailey. Lyra would turn heel because they may be teasing that. Turn heel on Bailey at WrestleMania. I don't know.
Well, why would she do that, though? Because Bailey on TV last night promised her, you get the first shot after I win.
I know, but she's been on a losing streak. She's following Bailey around. She's losing everything that they throw at her.
Yeah, maybe so. But I still feels to me like we're headed towards another straight match between AJ and Becky.
God, that sounds boring.
With the Jessica Carr, nonsense. But, Io and Asuka should be the direction. I think that should absolutely be the match. And when you add it all up, I mean, so what are we at here? We're
Io Asuka women's tag team title. If you want to factor in Tiffany versus Julia, that's 3. Becky, AJ, 4, and then the 2 major women's championships. That's 6 matches right there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Are we missing anybody?
I don't know. Depending on who's in that women's tag team match, if it's Bailey, Lyra, or if it's Raquel and Roxanne.
I mean, the tag match will probably just end up being a dumping ground for any of the big names that haven't been accounted for. So whether it's 4 teams, 5 teams, they'll
they can always bring back the Mae Young Classic, man. They can always do that. Well, or not the Mae Young Battle Royal, whatever the fuck it's called.
You want to add another 8 matches to the show and have a whole tournament?
Anyway, that's the WrestleMania situation.
See, you forgot, like they called it originally the Moolah. What was the name for it? The Moolah
Invitational. What was it?
It was they named it after Moolah, who was a terrible human being, and then they got rightfully shit on for it. And I think was it Mars or whatever, the company that owns M&Ms? They were in a uproar or whatever, so they changed it. And my recommendation at the time, and I still, all these years later, I still feel like this is the way to go here. You call it the Sensational Invitational, and you do it in tribute to Sherry Martel. who I think is just, I mean, she gets no recognition. And I just think it's very sad. And she's in their Hall of Fame. And I just think the Sensational Invitational, and you have a women's battle royal in her honor, under her name, and fuck Moolah.
Look at that, man. They could have been giving you Brian James' paycheck. Look at that.
You know what? Their loss.
Listen, I don't know what to tell you.
Their loss. I'll tell you what, I get a better annual review than he would.
Yes, I am in full agreement there. That's the WrestleMania situation. Women's matches, we're looking at possibly 6. That's the rumor coming from WrestleVotes. The Cody and Randy stuff, that's now on its way. Drew fought 2. So things are really lining up for WrestleMania. It still doesn't really feel like we're engulfed in WrestleMania season yet, because some things feel hot, some things don't feel so hot. And a lot of it has to do with CM Punk and Roman Reigns. So we'll definitely get into that. I guess we should get into Monday Night Raw, because I thought Monday Night Raw largely was a decent show. It wasn't as bad as we have gotten the last couple of weeks. But the big thing last night was the turn. Not really a turn, but they kicked Finn Balor out of the Judgment Day. And I thought the segment was really, really well done. So to set things up here, the reason why, and this has been brewing for many, many, many months. This has gone on and off for 2 years now. There's been some tensions between Balor and Dominic. This goes all the way back to like the R-Truth stuff and the Penta. Dominic wanted Penta in the Judgment Day. Balor didn't want Penta in the Judgment Day when Penta first got there last year. He was going behind his back, working with the Americanos. So you saw things kind of transpire with Dominic kind of doing things on his own and not really asking for Finn's guidance. So it all came to a head this past week. And the Intercontinental title match, conveniently against Penta, Dominic lost the title to Penta last Monday. And it was all because he wanted the bell hammer. And J.D. McDonough went to go get the bell hammer from the timekeeper. Balor gets up, who was sitting right next to McDonough at commentary, gets up and takes the bell hammer away. And this caused Dominic to kind of fumble, and he lost the belt. So we come to find out last night, Balor told Dominic he wanted him to do things the right way. And he wanted to be sort of like a father figure and guide him to do things the way that he felt like needed to be done. You want to be the greatest Mysterio of all time, the greatest luchador of all time. You gotta do things the right way, and according to Finn, he's not doing that. And Dominic's doing what he wants. He cheats to win using nefarious means. So it all came to a boil last night, Jason, and one thing led to another. I love Balor's just out of nowhere, just fucking knock you out with that Pele kick spot that he does. That was fucking great. So he Pele kicked Dominic.
Well, that was, remember he did that when he turned heel?
Yes. What was it? Adam Cole? He did it too, right?
Johnny Gargano.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah, and then he joined the Undisputed Era guys. Yeah. That was great. So Balor and Dominic got into a shoving match. McDonough tried to calm Balor down. The ladies tried to calm Dominic down. Dominic jumps at Balor. There's another big melee. And then all of a sudden, JD McDonough just fucking levels Balor with a clothesline, knocks him out. So he's out. McDonough's putting the boots to Balor. And then all of a sudden, Liv Morgan gets involved. Raquel gets involved. And all of a sudden, it's a 4-on-1. So we got a bell hammer spot with the 619 in the boot from Dominic, a big splash. Everybody got a piece of Finn Balor last night. I thought this was really good stuff. And finally, Jason, after years of waiting, we finally got this coming to a head. We got another not confirmed but solid addition potentially to WrestleMania with Dominic and Balor. I say we see the Demon. I think you think the same thing. Dominic's going to be in for a hell of a WrestleMania there with the Demon coming back. It's nice to see Finn go babyface again, finally. What'd you think of this whole thing?
I thought it was a basic, simple angle that was well done and was exactly what it needed to be. And it's something that has been teased and teased and teased now for so long. Finn Balor has been in the Judgment Day for 4 years. 4 years. And so this has been a long time coming. We've had little breadcrumbs of teases over the last couple of months that he might go babyface, right? The 2 matches with Punk. When the matches were over, they shook hands. They paid respect to each other. Liv Morgan was not happy about that. And it was Punk, remember, in that one backstage segment, I think it might have been the week after Belfast, where he was like, you don't need these guys. These guys are idiots. They're losers. You don't need to hang out with them. So they were hinting at what was coming. And so I thought it was well done. The only one missing was Roxanne. I don't know if when she comes back, she's going to just kind of, go along with the rest of them, or is she going to show allegiance to Finn? Probably not, but she was the one person who wasn't there. And now we get a match between Finn and Dom, unless you feel like, McDonough is going to be thrown in there in a triple threat. I think that's unnecessary.
No.
That's the obvious match. It's Finn and Dom. The only thing I would say is, as happy as I was to hear him bring the old music back when he had that match in Belfast, it would have made more sense to hold off and bring the old babyface music back now.
Yeah.
But outside of that, it had to be done. How much longer would they have been able to drag this out for? They've waited for so long. They've held off on this. I'm glad it finally happened.
I said last night, and some people agreed, some people didn't. Just par for the course with pro wrestling audiences. I'm not the biggest Judgment Day guy, but if you look at the current landscape of WWE television over the last 5 years, even you want to push it to 10 years, we've gotten the Shield, we've gotten the Undisputed Era as some of the all-time greatest, more recent factions. Not going back any further than that. You got your Bloodlines, which were great. You got your Wyatt Sixes now. You got your MFTs. None of those groups measure up to where I'm going with this. But if you look at the Judgment Day, they might, Jason, and again, this is very subjective, they might be the most important group outside the Bloodline in WWE. I would say probably going back 10 years. And I love the Undisputed Era. I love the Shield. I think the Undisputed Era is probably, outside the Shield, the greatest faction of the modern era in WWE. I loved everything about those guys in NXT. But you look at the Judgment Day, everybody that stepped foot in the Judgment Day has been better off for it. It started with Adam Copeland and Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, and then it gave way to Balor. Balor has looked better than he has in his entire main roster run in the Judgment Day. Now again, that's subjective because he hasn't really been a part of anything major, but he's been a leader. He's been on TV. Judgment Day usually gets 3 or 4 segments a night on Monday. Mm-hmm. You got Liv Morgan, who's done the best work of her career. Dominic has grown into the superstar he is today because of the Judgment Day. Damian Priest won the World Championship. He hasn't felt the same since he left the Judgment Day.
He's been ice cold since he left.
He's been ice cold. Rhea Ripley's the only one because she's the biggest superstar in the entire company. You look at Roxanne Perez. We're not there yet, but I guarantee you Roxanne Perez is also going to benefit from the Judgment Day. Raquel Rodriguez doing the best work of her career.
And where would McDonough be right now? Right? I mean, and not that he's like a major star, but like, he'd be on main event right now.
Bro, he'd be under a mask with fucking Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate.
Absolutely. He would be one of the Americanos running around.
So my point is, I was going to ask you your feelings on the Judgment Day, because
we have Ryo and Bravo, and we have Funko Americano, and they would be running around together as a trio.
I guarantee you that would have been his name, Funko
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh my God, that's great. My question to you is, how important is the Judgment Day to the WWE? Because this is Triple H's version of the Bullet Club, honestly, in his Triple H era.
Which is kind of appropriate because Finn Balor took it over. Mm-hmm. So this was kind of like his WWE version, I guess, in a way, of the Bullet Club on a much smaller scale. It's been a very beneficial group to a lot of people who I don't think would be in as good of a position right now as they are if they didn't have the Judgment Day. Like, honestly, if they wanted to keep the Judgment Day going, I probably would. Yes. I would just plug new people in there and just cycle people in, cycle people out. Like you said, I mean, they get so much real estate on the show every single week. And that's the thing. Like, whatever you think of the Judgment Day, they're getting multiple segments out in the ring, in the backstage area. They're all over the show. So why kill it when you can just cycle other people into it? Like, if David Finlay had chosen to come to WWE, apparently the idea was for him to go to NXT. Well, what I would have done, I think a group like this would have been perfect, honestly. Like, you kick Finn out, maybe someone like him comes in and steps into that spot. But it could be, I mean, there's any number of people.
It just pisses me off that you mentioned that now.
Yeah. Am I wrong?
No, you're not. You're 100% right. It pisses me off that we're not getting that now, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, and apparently one of the reasons that he decided not to go to WWE is because they wanted him to go to NXT under NXT money, not main roster money, to lead a second generation stable with like Lexis King and different people like that. And yeah. I can't imagine why he took more money to go work for AEW and be with his friends. But I wonder, like, had WWE presented him with a main roster offer and the idea, like, hey, we got this idea for you and this is what it is, maybe he would have made a different decision. But the thing with the Judgment Day is, and here's why it works, right? Besides the fact they get so many segments, it's character building. It's not just matches. They're not going out there and doing matches. The majority, I dare say, of the segments with them are these character building segments, these backstage interactions. But it builds your character and personality. Raquel Rodriguez, when she was a babyface, dude, what did she used to do when she would come out, right? She'd flex and she'd show you her back muscles, right? Oh my God. Look.
She'd smile.
She'd smile, all the smile, damn it. And she would have she'd have the big, back muscles and everything. And that's it. That's all she did. And it was like, that's fucking boring. I don't know anything about this woman and you haven't given me a reason to care. She's like a totally different person now. You know what I mean? And Roxanne, we can go down the list. So I would keep it going and just, cycle some people in there who you think need something like this, right? There's some people, they don't need the Judgment Day. But if there's someone that's like, they're missing that one thing, or we just got to bring it out of them, that's where I think the Judgment Day really brings value.
Someone mentioned to me in my chat last night, I'm interested to see what you think. And I seen it in Incredible One, I think was the one who mentioned it. He mentioned here again tonight. Adding Royce Keys to the Judgment Day. You think that would work?
I think it could. I mean, it was the idea that he would be in like a kind of like a heater or like a bodyguard type role. Yeah, I mean that could work. Sure.
Now, do you think that with Balor obviously being kicked out, he's
here's an idea to piggyback on what you just said. Yeah. They're going to have a match, let's say at WrestleMania. Why not debut Royce Keys there as Dom's heater and have Dom beat Balor?
I like it. I mean, we said the same thing about Trick Williams. Clearly, they're not doing that, but yeah, that works the same way.
Well, that was my original thought, is that, you would put, Keys with Trick, but if they're even thinking about turning Trick babyface, then I wouldn't even bother with that. But the idea that maybe he would debut him officially at WrestleMania in that role, and then Dom, because most people probably would figure that Balor's going to beat Dom.
Yeah.
But Dom, he's got some backup. I like that idea.
Yeah, I like that too. That's a possibility. Now, what does that mean for Balor? He's obviously going to need some backup of his own, and we heard rumors of Hiromu Takahashi and Evil coming in. Is he going to now dip into his roots in Japan and bring out a stable of his own guys, kind of like the War Dogs in AEW, and we get an extension of what Balor's thinking, and maybe he's the leader of his own group with his own friends to battle the Judgment Day? Is that a possibility?
I forgot about Evil.
Which doesn't really make any sense because to go back on your David Finlay thing, who didn't think of that? Like, I don't understand why we're bringing in Takahashi, but we're not bringing in David Finlay.
Yeah, well, I mean, they wanted to bring him in. He just said he heard the creative and he was like, "Get the fuck out of here! I'm not interested in that." I don't really like that idea just because there's no connection between those three. Like, you're just gonna put him with him? Why? Because they're from New Japan? It's not even like they were part of Bullet Club or anything.
I don't watch New Japan. I'm just going off what they probably are thinking. Well, these guys work together over there. Like
the Evil stuff is an offshoot of it, but I'm not really a fan of that. I don't know. If you're going to put people with Balor, those are not the people I would put with him. I don't know who those people would be, but yeah, that idea doesn't really excite me.
We will see. Balor is now out of the Judgment Day. Very good segment last night, and it looks like Dominic and Balor will be going one-on-one, hopefully, at WrestleMania. The open of the show was largely a waste of 15 minutes. Adam Pearce called out Seth Rollins, and over a dozen masked men appeared at ringside, and they all scampered about. It reminded me of a heavy metal concert, and everybody was kind of banging into each other in the mosh pit, but...
well, I said on my end, it reminded me of the Shell game.
Yes, the Shell game, yeah.
Which was one of my favorite games when I would watch The Price is Right as a kid. It's like, okay, we got three cups, and you put the ball under one, and you move them around, and like, where's the ball? They're moving around, and it's like, where's Seth? Right? Which one's Seth? And then he unmasks, and I had the same question that Adam Pearce did, where it's like, hi, Seth. Like, did you really need to go through this whole song and dance? Like, okay, hi. What was the point of it? I guess the point of it was at the end because they wanted him to disappear when the Vision guys were going after him. But it just looked so goofy. Like when they laid this out, I can't believe that Seth Rollins came up with this. Like I can't. Yeah.
It was, man. It was fucking a take on the Power Rangers. Bruce was probably watching the Power Rangers movie. my God. Bruce is probably watching the Power Rangers movie on fucking Sunday night. I got an idea, Paul. Let's do that one, man.
Who came up with this? Like, I can't imagine that Seth was the one who came up with this. I can't believe that. It had to be somebody else.
I don't know, man. It was.
Maybe they moved Road Dogg from the SmackDown creative team to the Raw creative team. They just did a swap. I don't know. I don't know. But never do this again.
It was very cringy. It was very cringy. And the worst part of it all, I mentioned this. The two things that I took away from it, what wasn't even the fucking horrendous, just masked men dancing about. We got Rollins in there being addressed by Adam Pearce. He doesn't say anything. He just stood there. Logan Paul and Austin Theory come out. Austin Theory thinks he's got an epic one-liner and drops the microphone. He's like, well, what did he say? I got it written here somewhere. He said something so fucking ridiculous. I don't even... now I'm struggling to find it. It was so stupid.
Well, who said the line?
It was Austin Theory.
Oh, yeah. I try not to pay attention to what he says, so I didn't write it down.
I gotta find it. It was so
I think in my review, I literally said Theory said something on the mic and then he got in the ring. I didn't even bother like mentioning what he actually said.
Regardless, he said something and then they address Rollins.
Wasn't it like we're going to put a bullet in you or something? It was going to make me look this up now.
I gotta find it. You find it. Regardless, he said something. Logan Paul came out and they addressed Rollins. They're going to put him down sooner rather than later. And then they're out there. Rollins disappears into the night with the masked men. LA Knight comes out. The Usos come out. Bro, we are watching LA Knight and The Vision for 9 straight months. 9 straight months. Yeah. And then Paul Heyman was, I guess, written off television. They said he had got some cervical fucking issue and
they had deviated septum,
something like that. And now he's written off television. That's probably Paul Heyman's way of getting the fuck out of this goddamn angle, this dead angle. So I don't know. This was a waste of 15 minutes. Rollins didn't even say anything.
I think was the line that Theory said like there's a bullet with your name on it or something. Was it something like that?
I gotta find it.
You find it.
Yeah, go ahead.
But again, they get in the ring, and this is where again all the putty people they start going back. Well, first Seth puts the mask back on, and then all the putty people start going back and forth, and Seth disappears into the sea of just darkness here with all the ninjas, and they vanish into the crowd, and I'm like, what is the end game here? Like when this is all said and done, is Seth going to have his own faction of just these random masked men, or what is the goal of this? Why does he feel the need to hide himself? If the Vision was at full strength, maybe I can understand it. They're a tag team now. Like Braun Breaker is gone. Bronson Reed is gone. No one is going to be intimidated by Austin Theory, and then you have Logan Paul. What is he so afraid of that he has to wear all black and disappear into the night?
I don't know. Maybe he's trying to drum up that old Shield feeling. I don't know.
He's not Sting.
No. So Logan Paul came out and said, well, Theory did say there's a bullet with Seth's name on it, and it doesn't matter how many masked idiots he's got. They're not saving him. And then he ends with this, and then he drops the mic as if he dropped the bomb. He's like, consider this worst case scenario.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, God, that was so cringe. They're going to put that on a T-shirt, aren't they?
They got literally no reaction, and they jumped on the apron, got in the ring as if he said something cool out there.
I'll bet when they wrote that into the script, whoever came up with that one thought, man, we got a winner here. This is going to be on a T-shirt.
It's so awful. Regardless, we got Rollins. I said...
Well, first of all, hold on. Did you say that Paul Heyman had a cervix?
Cervical issue. I thought it was
okay. Yeah. Somebody in the chat thought you said that Paul Heyman had a cervix.
No, like a cervical issue, contusion or something. I don't know.
Okay, because he has a cervix. Then I got some questions.
No, I don't know. I don't know what they diagnosed him with. I don't know.
No, it had to be something cervical. Some contusions probably, right? I'm sure they threw some contusions in there, and then they mentioned the deviated septum. All right. So, yeah, he'll be gone for a while.
So I told Jason in the sound check that Rollins is probably going to do this masked shit again, and one of the guys is going to be Braun Breaker. I personally think Braun Breaker is going to be back before Mania, and I think we're going to get that on the Mania card. Now, if that doesn't happen, where do we see this going, Jason? Because we talked about last week that it may be the Usos versus Logan Paul and Austin Theory for the tag team championships, and then we're coming up with, you said Lesnar versus Rollins. where do we go? We're looking at Rollins and LA Knight versus Logan Paul and Austin Theory at WrestleMania after this segment last night, or no?
I mean, that's one of the directions. Sure, that's one of the possible directions, especially when you see what they did in the closing segment. Maybe the Usos are not going to be defending their titles. Maybe they're going to factor into the night one main event in some other way.
Yeah, maybe. I thought that same thing. Though that tag team match with Rollins and LA Knight does zero to excite me.
We can't also discount the possibility that Dave was right and they're sticking to the plan, which was LA Knight and Brock Lesnar.
Well,
you gotta keep that in mind. It's still a possibility.
Well,
right? Brock's opponent hasn't been settled yet.
Well, I got news on that, and that's a good segue because as we come up with a Brock Lesnar potential WrestleMania match, this gem came out today, and this is coming from the Self-Made guys, Ibu and company, on their Self-Made session. Now, I don't know who they know or who they're talking to, and I hope that this is absolutely 100% fake and false. But Lesnar and Paul Heyman have reportedly told WWE officials that the creative team that Lesnar should not lose another match before he eventually retires. According to the report, that stance is now creating a serious dilemma for WWE as the company tries to figure out Lesnar's direction heading into WrestleMania 42. So Ibu says, so here's the problem. They know that the audience wants Oba. Brock and Paul Heyman have essentially communicated to WWE and creative that Brock should not lose until his retirement. The report explained that this position limits WWE's options when it comes to potential dream matches that the company would normally consider for Lesnar. However, the issue that both of these matches would likely require Lesnar to take the loss, something reportedly he doesn't want to do. So that puts WWE in a tough spot, they go on to say, because Triple H would like to book Gunther versus Brock and Oba versus Brock at some point. But if those matches happen, Brock would likely lose in both. So it creates a real dilemma. Now, he's on the show next week in San Antonio, and he will be without Paul Heyman. So he's going to have to man the microphone by himself. If anybody comes out and answers his open challenge, whether it's legit or just a comedy segment, that remains to be seen. But what do you make of this, Jason? Because you just mentioned that LA Knight and the report that Dave put out that Knight and Lesnar may still be on the cards. If this report is true, there's no other opponent for Brock Lesnar but LA Knight, and you know what the outcome of that match is going to be in Las Vegas.
I mean, I knew what the outcome of that match was going to be the minute I read about it. I mean, it's foolish. I mean, it's not a WrestleMania match. And it doesn't serve any purpose other than just, Lesnar's vanity project where he's just going to continue to rack up wins. So whether or not it's legit or not, I don't know. First of all, my question is this. Does Brock Lesnar or Paul Heyman run creative? Was I out of the loop on that when they became in charge of creative here in WWE? Because there's a difference between saying that this is how we think it should be or making a recommendation and saying this is how it's going to be.
Well, Brock still feels that whatever he got when Vince was there, he is still able to get whatever he wants. Like Vince.
Well, Vince is not there. Vince is not there. And guess what? The 2-year vacation that he had, he got paid the entire time. Okay, so he's not in a position to really complain about anything. If WWE wants to put over someone new like Oba Femi, then that's what Brock Lesnar is going to do. Like, as long as he's being paid, this is your job, right? Because he's all about money.
Yep.
So the way I look at it is, if that's the match they want to do, then you impress upon him and Paul Heyman that this is the match we're going to do. We don't even know when Brock is going to retire. I love this idea that they don't think Brock should lose until he retires. And it's like, I know people have speculated about Minneapolis in August, but nothing's ever confirmed. Nothing was ever confirmed about that being his last match. I personally find it very hard to believe that that's going to be his last match. So what is this? We think he should be undefeated until he retires in 2028. What are we even talking about here? Here's how it should go down. I'm going to lay it out for you right now. You want to wait a few weeks until the end of the month and be my guest. Here's what you do, okay? You have Brock Lesnar out there. Paul Heyman doesn't even have to be there because he's all beat up. And Brock is out there, and Danhausen comes out, right? I've said this a million times now. I'll say it again. Danhausen comes out. Brock is looking at him like, what the fuck are you, right? He's not taking this guy seriously. And Danhausen puts a curse on Brock Lesnar. He curses Brock.
You are cursed.
You are cursed. And then we hear the drum beat, and out comes Oba Femi. And there you go. And you set up Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar for WrestleMania. The curse was Oba coming out to accept the open challenge. That should be the WrestleMania match. And yes, you're right. Oba, if they do that match, Oba should win. Now, if Oba loses and then they run it back at SummerSlam and he wins, then it's probably not the end of the world. I just feel like it would be foolish this early in his run to be beating Oba Femi. But there's a reason, like you teased people with it at the Royal Rumble. And when they were out there on television a couple of weeks ago, you heard the fans going, Oba, Oba. That's not going to go away. People are going to assume that you're kind of building to Oba Femi coming out to accept the open challenge. Nobody is clamoring for Seth Rollins against Brock Lesnar again. Nobody wants to see LA Knight. I'll bet LA Knight doesn't want to see LA Knight against Brock Lesnar. Okay, no one is clamoring for that match. It should be Brock and Oba. And this notion that, well, Brock thinks it should be this way or Paul Heyman thinks it should be this way. Who gives a shit? You know, like if you're Paul Levesque, you got to make the matches that you think are going to be the best matches for WrestleMania and the best, and you got to do it in such a way that elevates, hopefully elevates whoever's in the ring with this guy. Because Brock Lesnar had his day. At this point, they got to get new guys over. That's what it should be about.
It would be awful if they booked the match and then they ended in a chaotic way where there's just a no contest at WrestleMania. They'll give us the match, but there's no declared winner for the match.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that would be pretty fucking terrible if that happened. Unless they did like another ring collapse or something, but you know, short of something. Well, I guess you can't do that if it's in the middle of the card. That'd be kind of hard.
Yeah, they don't want Lesnar to lose another match until he retires, but they were okay with him being eliminated the way that he was eliminated in the Royal Rumble. That doesn't make sense to me, but
well, that was Brock saying, "Just eliminate me."
Now we know. Now we know why Oba didn't eliminate him, and it was fucking LA Knight and Cody Rhodes hidden behind Yeet Man.
Yeah, yeah. Quick, get me out of here. I got to get home.
Oh God.
Now look, I mean this notion, and look, I understand it's easy to sit here and say these things, and maybe Brock turns around and says, "Fuck you. I'm not gonna work WrestleMania." But to me, it's like if you pay the guy enough money, he'll come, he'll show up, he'll do his job. I think you just, you communicate that this is what we're trying to accomplish here. This is what we're trying to do. How is a loss, by the way, to anyone at this point, other than Danhausen, gonna hurt Brock Lesnar? He's a made guy. At this point, you should be using him to elevate others in some way. I'm not saying Brock has to lose every single match he's in, but Oba is that guy, and he's getting over. The fans are getting behind him. This would be huge for him because Brock still has that credibility. There's something about him that nobody else on that roster has. So they should be tapping into that and using it. This idea that, well, we don't think he should lose until he retires. Yeah, okay, well, we'll take that under advisement. That's great. But you know what? Here's how we're going to do it. We're going to do it this way.
I mean, is there any, I don't know, is there any point in history in the last couple of years where Brock was difficult to work with? I've always thought that if he wanted to work with somebody, he would put them over. I mean, he did it with Cody. He lost to Cody and then shook his hand. Like, why wouldn't he think about that same way?
To Cody.
Yeah, why wouldn't he think about that way to Oba Femi? Like, I don't even want to believe this story. I think it's bullshit. Like, why wouldn't Brock want to work with Oba? You would think that Oba's the one guy that he would want to work with. Look at him. I don't know.
Yes. You would think so.
I don't know. We'll figure that out. Lesnar's going to be on the show on Monday. I don't know what they have planned. He's going to be without Paul Heyman. I don't know how long they're going to wait for someone to come out and answer this open challenge. Jason may be right. It may be a comedy geek that comes out there and gives us a segment, and then they prolong it and wait for one of the bigger shows. I know they're doing MSG at the end of the month. So,
well, yeah, even like Otis. I could see Otis coming out. The fans like Otis. And then get a little back and forth between them. And it's like, because they want you to think, oh, it's going to be Otis, but then he gets F5'd or whatever. And you could do that for a couple of weeks. So I think is Brock on the show? I know Roman is on the show 3 weeks in a row. Brock is there Monday. Is he there the following week? Or is it just 2 weeks later?
I think there was 5 total dates. I think next week, and then...
Because it's the 16th, the 23rd, and the 30th for Roman. The 30th is the Garden, I think.
Let me see.
I'm sure Brock is on that show. I don't know if he's on the 23rd.
Brock Lesnar WWE Raw schedule. I know he's got more than what we remember.
Well, whatever. I mean, the point is, like, if you want to do that sort of thing for a couple of weeks and then ultimately build to whoever the actual opponent is coming out and accepting the open challenge, that's fine. You don't have to give it away in San Antonio next week.
I got it right here. He was in Atlanta, 16th in San Antonio. He will be in the following show for Boston, March 23rd. New York City on the 30th. So he's making 3 straight weeks.
Okay.
This coming Monday, the following Monday, and then that following Monday. And then April 6th in Houston, April 13th. So literally the next 5 weeks, he's on Raw.
Okay. Well, then perfect. Yeah. So you can do exactly what, whether it's Otis or somebody else, but like you get the idea. Like you can do that for a couple of weeks. And then when the time is right, I like the Danhausen idea just because it would be so preposterous, like seeing the two of them in the ring together. And yes. I'm dying to see Brock's reaction to him.
Yeah.
Like he would piss himself laughing. He would not take this man seriously at all. And then this whole curse thing that they've been doing, like, again, to me, it just makes sense. You put a curse on him and then his actual opponent comes out, whoever it's going to be.
So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But I tend to not believe this story from Self-Made. I don't want to believe it because I do think out of everything we've talked about, Brock and Oba is still the match. Fans want it. WWE knows the fans want it. It would be ridiculous in this current administration where things feel ice cold and they're doing everything to go against the fans, to have the fans want a match and then go against what the fans want. I just find that to be preposterous. So,
well, you said ridiculous. You know what's ridiculous?
What?
And it hit me at the end of that show last night. Do you know who was missing from the show last night? Gunther. I don't even think he was mentioned last night.
He fucking demasked Dragon Lee and then he didn't show up the fucking next week.
Not even mentioned.
You know, I didn't even think about him until you just mentioned him now.
Not even on the show. Not even a mention.
Nothing
On the show last night.
Wow. Maybe they genuinely don't have a plan for him at WrestleMania, which is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. What are we doing here?
I don't know. It's WrestleMania cards being pieced together with fucking Scotch tape and Elmer's glue over here. What the fuck are we doing? I don't know. The only thing that feels WrestleMania is CM Punk and Roman Reigns right now. Not to take anything away from Cody and Drew and Fatu. They've done a very good job on Friday night to really create intrigue there, but Punk and Roman, mostly Punk, has carried WrestleMania. Now, this segment last night was a follow-up to what happened the previous week where he told Roman that he was going to put him and bury him next to his father. So the fact that Punk mentioned Roman's father, this brought out the Usos, and they wanted to get an apology from CM Punk. So Jimmy and Jay are out there, and I want to say before we get into what was actually said here, that I thought the Usos last night, I don't know how you felt, Jason, I thought the Usos, the way that they were presented last night, was probably some of the best in recent weeks with the Usos, because the Usos come out, they're all jovial, they have a good time, they eat, they're all about the party-like atmosphere. But I said last night on my Raw review, when you get Jimmy and Jay in the same ring, and they're on the same page, and they're serious, and they got that raw, unadulterated Uso in them come out, you know, it's really difficult to watch what we saw last night and then have them go back to what they usually do. Jimmy's a very good promo, and when Jay is on and angry and just kind of in the zone, he's very good. But when you mix them together, they're fucking great. I thought what they did last night, the way that they were presented, was great. What'd you think about the way that they came off the CM Punk last night?
I thought it was nice to see them in a serious light for a change. You know, usually they're out there having fun, and again, Jay is yeeting and running it back and doing all that stuff. And Jimmy also, Jimmy's a naturally, kind of funny guy. But when they're serious, in the way that they were here, that to me reminds me of the old days of the Bloodline. And that was really when, things were kind of at their peak. So Jay is not someone who should be cutting long promos. He's just not comfortable with it. He's not that good at it. He speaks in soundbite. He was very intense. Like he was all wound up, and Jimmy was a lot calmer. And again, I think Jimmy is an underrated promo. So I thought they came off really well. And I like the way that they've now tied them into this story. Although when the segment was over and the show was over last night, the impression I was left with was, wondering, are we barreling towards an OG Bloodline reunion at the end of WrestleMania this year?
That's the same way that I thought, and I hope not, because that is just...
Talk about running it back.
Well, yeah, really. And
yeah, let's run it back. Yeah, Triple H.
I don't know if that's the right running back, because that's only going to get more criticism than anything. So they were out there. They wanted an apology from CM Punk. And Jimmy really kind of... He praised CM Punk in a way where he called him Phil. And he said, I have respect for you and your character. You speak from the heart. When you go through obstacles, you go right through them instead of taking the shortcut. calls himself the voice of the voiceless. He said Punk disrespected their late uncle, who has no voice. So he wants him to apologize. Jay, at this point, is kind of foaming into the microphone. He's just angry. He's holding the microphone like he's drinking like a chalice of red wine. He's got it gripped with two hands. So Punk stared at Jimmy and said, yeah, you're right. So he was coming in a little hot, he said to Jay, coming in a little hot. I'm not spiritual, but if you believe they can hear us, he hopes that he hears him say this. We're friends and your entire family. We go way back, a lot longer than people realize. I knew Alpha better than Sika. He said he sat under the Wild Samoan's learning tree. He says it was a thrill to get to sit in the back of a pickup truck and learn from Samu as he dropped knowledge on him. He mentioned Lance in Hawaii, saying, hey, babysit Lance. And he said he respects everyone in the family. They've all shown him respect except that one son of a bitch. Punk said if he thinks Sika heard that, then you believe he can see. He says he can see what a lying, conniving, backstabbing, gaslighting, egotistical, narcissistic, plastic politician Roman Reigns is. Jay is getting even more angry. This is not about Roman, he says. We need you to say I'm sorry. So Punk finally said, and I felt like this was very much a heel Punk, say you're sorry. Punk soaked up the whole reaction here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that Roman treated the two of you and the rest of your family like garbage for years and never once came out here and apologized. Sorry Roman disrespected Dusty Rhodes, the father of my friend Cody, when he called him irrelevant, but he's not on the hook for apologizing. He says he's sorry Roman has tricked the Samoan family and fans that he gives a single damn about any of them. Because if he cared about you or the people or me or this company or this business, he'd be standing in the ring talking to me right now instead of his young boys. And then Punk got knocked out, and that's the way the show went off the air. I thought this was very much a heel Punk. Now, I'm all for a heel CM Punk, but really? I thought he came off very heelish there, yeah.
I thought he made some really good points. I like the fact that he mentioned Roman calling Dusty irrelevant, which I think he said to Cody's face a few years ago.
Yes, he did.
So I like that callback, and it's like he's just calling out the hypocrisy of it. So, yeah, I mean, the line the week before kind of cut deep, and it was a low blow. But I thought this is one of the things that worked about this promo, that both sides made valid points. Like, you could understand the Usos being upset because their family was disrespected, but Punk is also bringing up the fact that, and here's a great fact that Punk brought up, and I said this when Roman first came back, Roman never really apologized for treating his family, especially Jay, like shit. Roman is no different now than he was before when he was the champion. But he came back and everybody was cheering Roman Reigns, right? And the OTC, and he's like the most popular guy on the show. He's still a dick. Like, he is still the same guy he was 2-3 years ago. And he was never held to account for any of that stuff. And these comments he's made before. So Punk is 100% right. Like, it's complete hypocrisy here that I have to apologize for making a crack about Roman's dad. But Roman could go around making all these comments for all these years and not have to apologize for anything. So I didn't look at it as Punk being a heel. I looked at it as Punk being Punk. It reminded me of like the old CM Punk who, would really kind of carry himself in the way that he did last night, but it didn't come off as like him being a heel. So I didn't look at it that way just because I felt like the guy's making sense. He's not wrong in what he's saying. Yeah,
Roman has been using that manipulation tactic because if you guys remember, when Roman started to see Jay's ascent to the World Championship, it was Roman who convinced Jay to be more like Roman. Jimmy had a problem with that, so he caused dissension between the two brothers. That was never mentioned again. Jimmy never mentioned it. Jay never mentioned it. So there's a lot of moving pieces with all of this, especially Roman's kind of shadow hanging over both of them. I don't know if it leads to us getting a bloodline reunion at the end of WrestleMania. I'm not really in favor of Roman walking out with the championship at all, unless he's going to commit to more dates. Who knows? Maybe Netflix has desire to have Roman on their show and they want Roman as the champion and Roman opted for more dates. I have no fucking idea. But I don't want to go back to that. I think that's going to get more criticism for Triple H's creative than anything. Let's go back to the OG bloodline because that's the only thing that worked and the only thing people were interested in. And let's try to recreate that and come up with a new narrative and a new story there after WrestleMania. But who wants to see that? When all we're
there
asking for is
were-
fresh ideas and new stars and young talent.
Believe me, there's a lot of fans on social media who with Roman avatars who would love to see that. But the other line that Punk had in the promo last night that I thought, man, this is bang on. I'm glad he brought this up, is the fact that, I'm a fighting champion. I'm here every week. The whole reason this title was created in the first place was because Roman wasn't around, because he wasn't defending his championship and adhering to his championship responsibilities. But that's the truth, because they had both belts on Roman. How often did we see Roman on Monday Night Raw?
Never.
Practically never. That was the whole genesis of the World Heavyweight Championship.
He only showed up when The Rock was on Raw.
That's it. When The Rock was there, Roman was there, and that was it. And then on the first Netflix Raw, he beat Solo to win the Ulafala, and that was about it. So the whole reason we even have that belt on the show is because Roman had both belts and wasn't defending them, or at least not on Monday Night Raw. He wasn't defending them. So I said, you know what? Again, he's not telling any lies here in this promo. He was making some very valid points, I thought.
Now, and the other thing that I liked about what he said, too, and I posted a clip of what I said last night on my Raw review, he defended his title because he was proud of it, and the fans deserved the fighting champion. Punk defended the title. He leveled up all the competition. If you faced him, you had to level up physically and verbally. Otherwise, he would leave you dumbfounded and slack-jawed like Reigns was last week. And then he said he lowered himself to Reigns' level, and that's been on his mind all week. So I want to give, again, Punk his flowers, and I know Punk is a very controversial figure in the IWC. I don't really care what side of the fence you're on, if you're AEW or WWE, if you have some grudge because he talked down about AEW and whatnot. Punk has been doing some of the best work since he's gotten back into pro wrestling. And the only reason why WrestleMania feels the way that it does, at least a little bit important, is because of what he's doing with Roman Reigns. I think CM Punk at the turn of the new year, ever since he's won the championship and defended the title against Braun Breaker, from that first Raw on January 5th, he's been spot on in everything that he's done. He's verbally been almost perfect, and he's made this match with Roman feel like a WrestleMania main event should feel. And like Jason said, Punk's been there every week. Roman has been there on and off, and he will be there a little bit more regularly starting next week. Start giving CM Punk his flowers, because I genuinely feel that every time he's on TV, the show is leveled up. And it's quite concerning that if Punk is not there, how much worse the show actually is when he's not there. So start giving him his flowers, please. And I know I'm a big Punk guy, but he makes everything just feel that much better. And to me, he's right now the wrestler of the year in 2026. I know it's early, but he's put together quite the resume already. And I think it's only going to get better from here on out. So I think he's genuinely making this match feel larger than life. And we missed that because WrestleMania hasn't had that since Roman and Rock and Cody for WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia. So I'm glad that he's here. Anyway, we got some AEW stuff. Yes, I know. Exciting. AEW. We got Revolution this Sunday, which I thought about today. I'm like, fuck, it's on Sunday. So before we get to Revolution, we'll do a preview and predictions. We do have some AEW news, though. We have some injury news, and we have a debut that happened on Wednesday. And David Finlay came over from New Japan, and he is now with AEW. So he showed up, and he was integrated into the Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy dilemma. So apparently, there was rumors, Jason, that he may end up joining NXT, and you touched upon that just a little bit ago. He turned that down for whatever reason. Maybe he didn't like the creative, the pay. He didn't want to go to NXT. So Meltzer talked about this, and the decision to work in the United States was reportedly driven by personal circumstances for David Finlay. He recently had a child and wanted to move away from the rigorous international travel, and he wanted to be home more often. American promoters like AEW or Tony Khan offer a significantly more manageable schedule for David Finlay, allowing him to balance his career as well as stay home with his family. Before choosing AEW, Finlay was subject of a creative pitch from WWE management. The company reportedly wanted him to headline the NXT brand as the leader of a new second-generation stable featuring Lexis King, Stax, Ariana Grace, and Uriah Connors. And that is actually his younger brother, Brogan Finlay. So the faction was known. What are they called in NXT? The Birthright, is that their name?
Is it? If you're asking me, I mean,
Is that their name, chat? The Birthright? I think that's their name.
I believe so.
So anyway, he ends up joining AEW. He gets put into a stable with the War Dogs, or now known as the Dogs.
The Dogs.
Yes, they're the Dogs. And Finley had already begun his transition out of Japan, delivering a farewell in Osaka, and his last date was on February 27th in Trenton, New Jersey. So he's on AEW, Jason. I know you're more of a fan of New Japan than I am. I'm familiar with David Finley, what he does, what he looks like, match here, match there, but not totally. I don't know if AEW, I'm sure AEW is going to use him better than what WWE initially would have used him for, but to get thrust into this Darby Allin, War Dogs, Gabe Kidd, Clark Connors situation that feels ice fucking cold right now, and the way that they debuted him in front of 2,000 people, jumping them from behind with no introduction and just kind of feeling cold and flat. I didn't really feel like it was the best debut for David Finley, so looking at which would have been better for him, I mean, you really can't tell, honestly, at this point, because he went into this thing ice cold, and I know people would have complained about his NXT run initially, but you got to give that some time if you want to go jump to WWE, get acclimated with their system, and see how things work out. But did he make the right decision here?
Yeah, I mean, again, if that creative was accurate, I don't blame him for saying, thanks, but no thanks. Especially if they were going to start him in NXT at NXT Money. And if he's getting another offer from Tony Khan for a lot more money, and if, he's looking towards the future and he's got a family, he's got a kid now, that stuff is important. It goes beyond just, hey, what's the creative idea? It's, what kind of offer are you willing to give me? Obviously, Tony Khan was willing to give him a better offer, so I can't fault the guy for it. Look, when Josh Alexander made the choice to go to AEW over WWE, he cited that he had his, personal reasons for doing so. Although one of his reasons was he really wanted to wrestle Kenny Omega, which he's been able to do. So I don't know what David Finley's, priority list looked like. He made the decision that he felt was best for him. The problem is, he is one of many on a roster right now. They have a lot of people on the roster, and they only have so many spots. And, I don't know if you saw Chris Van Vliet. He just interviewed Johnny TV.
I did.
One of his many names. And I thought, he was being very diplomatic about it. But in the interview, he said, he feels like he's being underutilized. And he understands there's only so much television time, and there's so many people on the roster. But he's never on Dynamite. And I'm not even sure how often he's on Collision, to be perfectly honest with you. So to say that he's underutilized, yeah, I think that's probably an understatement. David Finley is a bigger name. I would say people right now would look at him as a bigger name than Johnny TV. But what does that mean for where he's going to be positioned on the show? Is he going to be on Dynamite? Is he going to be mostly on Collision? Where are the Dogs going to be? I guess that's the question. And he may be content to, just kind of go with the flow, and it's not a big deal to him. But there's a lot of people on that roster right now who are very frustrated, seemingly, that they're just not, those opportunities are not there for them because there's so many other people that they're not really a priority right now. How much of a priority is David Finley going to be to Tony Khan? I don't know. I didn't really have an issue with the way they debuted him, although it didn't get much of a reaction. I don't think he's someone that you need vignettes for. He's a big enough name. I don't want to say he's like Will Ospreay or one of the top guys, but he's a big enough name where these are his boys. Having him show up as a surprise to jump the baby faces makes sense. I'm not saying it was a hot debut. I'm just saying the way they did it, that doesn't bother me so much. Most of the AEW audience, they would know who David Finley is, and it's like, oh my God, David Finley is here. And it just...
He got no reaction, though.
It didn't get... Yeah, well, it did not. It did not get that big of a reaction. And so I'm just saying, if I had the ability to debut him, I would have debuted him in a similar way.
I'm trying to look up when Johnny TV actually wrestled on Dynamite. I'm not seeing anything. I know he made one appearance.
Are you sure? Because I'm not sure. Did he ever wrestle on Dynamite ever?
I don't know. The last time we saw him was at Revolution's pre-show last year where he teamed up with the MXM collection against Big Boom AJ.
Well, that's what I mean. It's not like, he's not on Dynamite, but he's on Collision on most. He's just not, he's not on TV at all.
No.
So you can understand why, he would be frustrated. And then we've heard, other people as well. I'm just looking this up. I want to know if he's ever had a match on Dynamite.
He had a lot of Rampage appearances.
I didn't say Rampage. You got to pay attention, JD.
I am paying attention. I'm not seeing the Dynamite.
All right, well, he did.
I see Dynamite 212.
Well, he did, and you can't blame me because you'd have to go all the way back to 2022.
Jesus Christ, I'm only in 2023.
And 4 years ago.
Get out of here.
He was in the Owen Hart Foundation first round against Samoa Joe, and he had a match against Miro. And then in 2023, he was in the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal, and that's it.
His name was Johnny Elite, though, when he came in.
He's gone through many names, yes. Johnny Mundo, Johnny TV, Johnny Elite, Johnny Nitro, John Morrison. Am I missing any? Let's see. What other names has he had?
You would
Johnny
think...
Consejo. Johnny Impact. That's right, Johnny Impact.
Johnny Impact.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Those were the glory days of Johnny Impact. You would think making a comment like that, I understand why people say it, and I would rather them speak from the heart and let everybody know how they're genuinely feeling. But don't you think making a comment like that could theoretically make his situation worse? I don't think Tony Khan's going to be
what do you mean worse?
Too happy with that.
What are you talking about? Worse? He's not on TV. How much worse could it get?
Well, now he's not going to be on TV is what I'm trying to say.
He wasn't going to be on TV anyway. He's got nothing to lose.
He's not going to be on Ring of Honor now. I don't know where the fuck he's wrestling.
He's got nothing to lose. He's got nothing to lose. He's not on television now, dude. And also, it wasn't like he was really lashing out. I mean, I thought he was...
He was very respectful, yeah.
Yeah, he was being very respectful, so I didn't see it as any sort of attack on AEW. He's stating facts, He's someone who, look, he's not as young as he used to be. And so who knows how many more years he's planning on doing this for. And I'm sure he would like to be, he's a talented guy, and I'm sure he would love to be working. So maybe it's just like, hey, let me start chirping a little bit. Maybe they forgot about me, Maybe I'm just not top of mind right now. So maybe if I put it out there like, hey, I'm looking to work, who knows? Maybe he'll get a few appearances on TV. It's very clear he's never going to be featured in any sort of meaningful way. That much is clear. It's just a weird thing because I don't know how much indie stuff he's doing. I know he just worked in CMLL. He got shaved bald in his match in CMLL. So I don't know how much indie work he's been doing. He's getting paid, right? He's getting a paycheck from AEW or Ring of Honor or whatever. And so at least he's got that. But I'm sure a lot of these people, they just want to be working, because it's so easy to be forgotten about. And that's the worst thing, especially if you want to get booked maybe in other places. Like, it would behoove you to be in the public eye and be on television and get that exposure, and he's not getting it right now. So I don't blame him for saying something, as long as he's being respectful about it. Doesn't seem like he's got any other sort of, like a bone to pick with anybody in the company. It's just like, hey, I'm over here. Don't forget about me.
You know what this means, right? You got to pick up the phone. You got to call Johnny TV. Mm-hmm. Last time he appeared for House of Glory was back during the Impact HOG Code Red show. That was on May 5th, 2019. It was him and Taya against Alicia Edwards and Eddie Edwards.
It's a long time ago.
Get him on the phone.
It's been quite a while. I may have to do that.
Let's get him in here.
Johnny Hogg.
Yes, Johnny House of Glory. We love to see it.
Johnny Glory.
Yeah, Johnny. Listen, it's got a nice ring to it, Johnny Glory. Look at that.
It does. It does.
Already making the guy's career. He's not even in yet. We got some other AEW news here. I have some injury updates, and I got to talk about this because this actually quite angered me a little bit. We'll get to that in a second. But Samoa Joe, he'll be back soon. He plans to be back sooner rather than later. He was interviewed and said, we'll be back at AEW sooner than later. He said during a recent appearance, I believe he was at the Monopoly Events Convention. I don't know what that's about, but that's where he was. While the specific date of his return to television remains unknown, Fightful Select previously reported that Joe was placed in concussion protocol following the January incident in a match with Mike Bailey. This cautious approach by AEW management aligns with their ongoing commitment to athlete safety, particularly regarding head injuries. So he's been out with a possible concussion, and the ops are now nothing more than Hook and whomever. I don't know who else is in the group. He's looking for members. I don't know. Shibata. Shibata's in the group.
Shibata's in Japan recruiting in Japan, and Hook said he's recruiting here on the on home turf.
It's amazing how they're all over television one week, and then they're basically irrelevant. They're non-existent the next. So we'll see what happens with that. But I want Joe back on television. I think him squarely positioned in that main event scene adds a lot of presence, and hopefully he gets back soon. So you can definitely tell his presence is missing from the show. As far as other injury news for AEW, we have Penelope Ford, which we talked about, I think it was last week or the week before. There was a spot where we had Lena Cross come out and interrupt the tag team title match with the Babes of Wrath, with Megan Bayne and Penelope going after the titles. There was a very confusing situation where Lena Cross came out and caused a no contest, and everybody wondered why. Penelope got a minor injury in that match, came off the top rope. Things looked to be not too serious. And now, all of a sudden, there's news that she's facing another setback after suffering an unfortunate injury at the end of February. During this tag team title match against the Babes of Wrath, Ford awkwardly landed following a moonsault to the outside of the ring. The injury forced her to pull out of the match and then left Megan Bayne to finish the match alone, where Lena Cross came out and basically ended the match. Initial reports suggest that the belief within the company was that Ford had suffered an ankle sprain rather than a break, sparking hope for a quick recovery. However, AEW President Tony Khan has since provided a more cautious update on social media. He noted that Ford will be out with an injury maybe for weeks, but possibly even up to months, he said. So she is looking like she's out. Sucks because she's actually had setback after setback after setback, and I just at this point really feel sorry for her personally. I think Penelope's got a lot of upside, but, you know, it's tough to look at Cross and Megan Bayne and not really kind of get behind them. That's a fucking dangerous duo right there, Jason, if they want to put them together.
Yeah, absolutely. I still feel like, you know, Megan Bayne should be chasing after the TBS title.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the one good thing about having Lena Cross with them is that if one person goes down with an injury, you just plug the other one in there. So it sucks for Penelope. Again, she was out not that long ago with the injury. It took her out of the Women's Blood and Guts.
Yeah.
And so I don't think she was a part of that. And now for this to happen, and again, it was kind of a fluky thing the way it happened. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks, and hopefully she'll be able to heal up and be back soon enough.
There was an incident that happened on Collision on Saturday. No, I didn't watch it, but I saw it all over social media. And I was, where was I? I was coming back from Chicago, right? And Saturday night I came home and I took a nice nap after the flight. And I wake up and I see this all over social media, and I just put my head in my hands and I kept my mouth shut because I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to just limit the negativity that walks into my life, okay? So I didn't want anything. I briefly said something very, very simplistic on social media. Jason, did you see this clip of Tommaso Ciampa turning heel on AEW Collision with Mark Briscoe?
I did.
I saw this video, and apparently Garcia beat Ciampa, Danny Garcia, that is, beat Ciampa, and Briscoe climbed onto the ring apron. Ciampa collided with Briscoe while being sent into the ropes, allowing Garcia to get a flash pinfall over Tommaso Ciampa. I know that doesn't sound right in the grand scheme of things, but there was a whole purpose and a reason to this. Following the match, FTR entered the ring to confront Ciampa, and they were on Wednesday's Dynamite trying to kind of invite him to join their group, which they got quite the history, in my opinion. Still that NXT TakeOver Toronto 2 out of 3 Falls match, one of the greatest tag team matches of all time, with DIY and FTR. But they're trying to kind of make an alliance with Ciampa. He told them to basically fuck off. So Briscoe returned to the ring.
If they can get Johnny in there.
I know. Listen, I'm low-key hoping for it, honestly. Man, that would fucking...
I'm sure Johnny is too. He's been laying on crates for the last 4 weeks.
And he got buried by Oba on SmackDown, so it's like... Yeah. So, I mean, listen, man, you want to elevate your tag team division. Holy shit, look at that. Briscoe returned to the ring seemingly to act as a peacemaker and prevent FTR from launching an attack here. However, Ciampa and Briscoe walked towards the backstage area. He suddenly tossed Briscoe headfirst into the stage area, and the attack was a direct callback to Ciampa's betrayal of Johnny Gargano at NXT TakeOver Chicago. when they first turned Ciampa heel. Bro, I saw this clip, and some account, I don't know who it was, mirrored that moment. They clipped the NXT TakeOver clip with what happened on Saturday, and they legitimately, sequence for sequence, just ripped the entire thing off. And I'm laughing. I'm like I hold this moment near and dear to my heart. I'm black and gold through and through. One of my greatest black and gold moments, if not my greatest and best feud of all time, coming out of that brand. To see them basically take a relationship between Briscoe and Ciampa that's been, what, 2 interactions over the course of 3 weeks, to recreate one of the most iconic moments in black and gold history, to just do that on Collision with these two for the TNT Championship, bro. I don't know, man. Am I overreacting to this or what?
Well, you're a little too close to it. You're a little too invested in the original moment. I just looked at it and said, man, you're copying a great angle with something that's inferior. I don't know why you would do that.
But,
and then I went on with my day. Like it didn't bother me that much.
Didn't he say he wants to show everybody that he's a better version of Ciampa now, and he didn't want to
in the ring? Yes, bell to bell in the ring.
Oh, sure, but I don't. But why do this?
Why do this? I don't know. I wouldn't have done it. For all we know, it was Ciampa's idea. Maybe he was paying homage to it. How the fuck should I know? I don't know. I wouldn't have done it. But I love the idea that he's a heel.
Sure.
Because now we can get Psycho Killer Tommaso Ciampa. Like I watching him lose and get pinned by Daniel Garcia, like ripped a hole in my soul as I'm watching this, right? And I'm going like, he better just fucking snap and go on just an absolute rampage here. And then he turned heel, and it's like, okay, all right, that washes away what just happened with Garcia. At least it was a means to an end here. So I'm happy he's a heel. Here's my issue, though, right? Them redoing the segment, like, I don't know why you would do that. Obviously, it's inferior to the original. But my bigger issue is he debuted for the company. His first match in, he wins a championship. Right? He debuts, he wins a title. Less than 2 weeks later, he loses said title, and now he's turned heel. All in the span of less than 2 months. I think it was about 6 weeks. He did all of these things in 6 weeks. It's like they are speed running through the Tommaso Ciampa run, and I'm confused by that. I'm not sure why they're speeding through all of this so quickly.
So it took them 6 weeks to accumulate all these things. So I would assume within the next 8 to 12 months, he'll be off television completely. Is that the way it works?
I mean, it seems like they're speeding the timeline up here, doesn't it? I mean, that's what I'm worried about. You're going to go through all of these things, and then you're not going to have anything left to do, and it's going to just be on to the next. So I hope that's not the case. But boy, they're really just fucking... I mean, dude, like, think about this. From the time he debuted until now, AEW has had no pay-per-views. And they've already gone through the debut and a title win and a title loss and a heel turn. What's left for him to do?
I don't know.
And they recreated an NXT angle. So like they've done all of these things, and we haven't even gotten to the first pay-per-view of the Tommaso Ciampa run in AEW. I'm not sure he's even going to have a match on that show. The obvious match, they took it away because they put Kyle Fletcher in a trios match. So yeah, that's my one big gripe with all this is like, I don't know why they're speed running through this instead of taking their time to really build up to some of these things. That doesn't seem to bode well for him in the long term. You know, when we get to the latter part of the second half of the year, I don't know that it's going to be a good thing.
I mean, he wants the TNT title. Fletcher's not on the card on Sunday. He's not defending that. Is he?
Yeah. Is this mic working? Like, is this? I just told you he's in a trios match.
Oh, I'm looking at the fucking card here.
Kazuchika Okada, Kyle Fletcher, and Mark Davis are defending their titles.
Oh, yes. I'm looking. Okay.
But they're defending their titles against Jet Speed and Mystico.
Bro, I don't know who I was looking at. I'm looking at a guy in a mask with fucking Speedball and Kevin Nash. Who the fuck is this guy? It's Mystico. Okay.
Yes. So he is on the show, but he is not. But so think about this. Okada is the international champion, and Fletcher is the TNT champion. And neither one of them are defending their titles. But they're defending these new titles that they just won this past week.
Yeah, I can't. I don't have any. Listen, at least Mark Davis is a champion. He thought his run for the next 7 months was going to be shot. You know,
I'm happy. I like Mark Davis.
Listen,
he's grown on me. He's like this like fun brawler type to watch.
Yep.
And I felt bad for him when Jake Doyle got hurt, and I'm like, okay, well, we're never going to see him now for another 8 months. They're going to have him in the background or on Collision, and they're trying to find stuff for him to do. He loses most of his matches, but they gave him the win in that match. He got to get the pin. I'm like, all right, you know what? Good for him. He got a moment. I'm happy for the guy.
Well, we make this women's tag team situation, out to be like, all right, Willow's a TBS champion. She's a tag team champion. It's like, all right, what's with these dual championships on one person? So not only do they got that, now they got these two guys. So it's like, what are they trying to prove? Like, are you trying to devalue their singles titles even more? Like, what is going on?
Yeah, and this is coming off Samoa Joe being the world champion and 1/3 of the trios champions, and Hangman was a trios champion while he was heading for a main event at Revolution for the world championship. I don't understand it. I get, like, at any given time you have one person who's got like the belt collector thing going on. It's like, okay, fine, but there's so many people as it is on
she's
this
down
roster.
to 7. She's down to 7 belts now, by the way.
5.
5. Oh, she lost another 2, huh?
Well, this past weekend she lost 2. Yeah, she lost the CMLL.
Oh.
And then was it the next day she went to Italy and she lost the Bestia women's championship. So I believe she's down to, now I know the Owen Hart belt was one of them. It's not really an active belt, so I'm not sure if the number is 5 or 6. I think it's 5. I think it's 5 that she's down to. But yeah, with so many people on the roster, just why do you need so many people having 2 belts? It kind of defeats the purpose of having so many belts.
There's too many belts. Get rid of them.
Spread them around a little bit.
Get rid of them. Eliminate them. Burn them. Get rid of them. I got some WWE news that we'll close with, but being that we're talking about AEW, rapid fire Revolution predictions here. It is Sunday, so expect another 4.5-hour show here on Sunday night, bleeding into Monday morning. So we'll start with this. They announced a 21-man blackjack battle royal for the AEW National Championship.
Well, you forgot the best part. It's on the pre-show.
It is on the pre-show, yes. The 0-hour pre-show.
Does that tarnish Ricochet's legacy?
I don't know, but he's got time this week to still call me a bitch, so I don't know what's going on there.
I'm sure that will happen. But here's the other thing. So, they were teasing Ricochet and Jack Perry, right? You would assume Jack Perry will be one of the blackjacks.
Well, I'm surprised you remember that.
Well, I mean, apparently I remember more than you. I'm saying things, and then you're asking me the same question 2 seconds later. I'm a little worried about you. But this is the second time now, I believe the second time, that they're doing the blackjack battle, or at least the second time in the last few years, because they've done this before. They did this with Orange Cassidy in the international title at Double or Nothing a few years ago, when he was doing the whole gimmick where, like, his body is shot. He's been defending it so much, and then he won. He won the 21-man battle royal, and he won.
Yeah.
So they've done this before. It made sense doing it at a show called Double or Nothing. Doing a blackjack battle royal at Revolution, that doesn't really make as much sense. But here's the other thing, and maybe this leads nowhere. I'm just going based off what the man said on his social media. Big Boom AJ claims he's going to be on the card at Revolution.
Oh, great.
Big Boom AJ of the Costco guys. He was answering some Q&A on his social media, and he said, somebody's like, when are we going to see you back in the ring again? And he goes, Revolution. Now, to my knowledge, they haven't said a word. They haven't teased anything with him. He may well end up in this blackjack battle royal, which, if I'm right, that means that Big Boom AJ could potentially walk out the new national champion. You do realize that?
Yeah, that's quite the scare there. Check your stream here because the countdown showed up. I didn't even think of that. I saw his promo and I heard he was coming, so he actually may be in this thing. I don't know who else is going to be in there. I'm assuming Jack Perry will be in there.
Yeah, well, they haven't told us. So, I mean, without knowing, who else is going to be in there, I'm just going to assume Ricochet is going to retain.
Yes, it would be foolish to take the belt off of him in a match that's been just kind of slapped together for no reason. Tony Storm goes one-on-one with Marina Shafir. Everyone is banned from ringside. Tony Storm has made desires to move on from this and go after the Women's World Championship once again.
Well, it's got to be Tony.
Do you think she goes and wins the World Championship again? Are we? Because
I think she wins this match.
Absolutely. Do you think that we get Tony and Mercedes at some point again? Maybe at All In. You think they're building towards that? It's still the biggest match that they can do, and they've only wrestled once.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that being the goal, with Tony. But again, until she drops all those belts, I don't see how you do that match. I don't see how you tell that story. She's got to drop all, and she's dropping them pretty quick. So she may be beltless within the next couple of months. But until that happens, I don't think you start building to anything like that. Because if she was to get the title match at All In, and they followed the same blueprint as the last few years, then she would be in the Owen, right? And she would have to win the Owen. So is there enough time for her to drop all the belts and hit rock bottom and then work her way back up? Maybe. I don't know. But I know Tony's not losing this match.
Interesting to see what Mercedes comes back as far as a gimmick. What is going to be her new direction character-wise? We have Swerve Strickland and Brody King going one-on-one here for who is the most dangerous man in AEW.
Well, the answer is Swerve. That's why he's going to win this match. I mean, Swerve is probably next in line for a world title match. So, I mean, it makes no sense for him to lose here.
Swerve is definitely going to win. This is a nice addition to the show. Should be a really good match there. The one I'm looking forward to most out of everything here, Bandito goes one-on-one with Andrade.
Bandito, who, for those who don't know, is coming to House of Glory. And Bandito is going to be stepping into the ring for the first time ever. You saw the match.
Yep.
With the Amazing Red. Yep. And that is going to be taking place in Las Vegas. Culture Clash, April 16th. But before he gets there, he's got to step in the ring with Andrade. They had a segment on television last week. In the back, it was a quick promo. And I will just say this. I'm very excited for the match. I said I was excited for the match. Not necessarily anything leading up to the match, but the match is what I'm excited for, and that is what I am waiting to see. And as far as who wins, I'm going to go Andrade.
I'm going Andrade. Andrade thought he was a fan who was marking out over him because he was dressed in street clothes. I don't know if you are a professional wrestler or if you're a fan and when you want a picture with me. Which one is it?
Well, he takes selfies with everybody.
I don't know.
Took a selfie with that one woman at the House of Glory show, and then she got kicked in the face by Mason.
She did. She got fucking blasted. I don't know what. Maybe you can fill me in here because I'm clueless. Jet Speed and Mystico. Where does this partnership come from? Did this just get slapped together?
Yes.
Like, I'm genuinely curious. Like, where did they pull Mystico from here? Is he friends with Jet Speed?
I guess. I mean, it's Mystico. He wanted to have Mystico on the show, and you snap your fingers, and there's Mystico.
I guess.
I don't know what to tell you.
Trios championships on the line after they said to everybody they want the tag team titles, so they're going after the trios titles.
I don't know what to tell you.
Okada, Fletcher, and Davis will defend their newly won trios championships against Jet Speed and Mystico. Don Callis' family has to retain, huh?
I mean, they don't have to, but I feel like they're going to.
Look at John.
I'll tell you what. Kevin Knight, he wrestled twice on Dynamite last week, and I know there was some discourse around this, and people were like, "Oh my God, he had 2 matches on the show, he lost them both," and it's great way to get a new guy over. That was the best night of his run yet in AEW because he was in like 3 different segments, I think, on the show. He got to wrestle the world champion. They had a really good match in the opener. He was in the main event. He was in the opening and closing segments of that show. And you and I just spent a few minutes talking about the lack of TV time for so many people on that roster. And Kevin Knight is all over these shows. And every week the announcers talk about how high his ceiling is and how talented and great he is. He's going to be just fine. If Tony Khan plays his cards right, this will be for him what last year was for Kyle Fletcher. And I think he's well on his way. And Fightful had a report this week that recently he re-signed a multi-year deal. So I think he can be one of those core guys for them. But if they're going to lose, he should not be the one taking the losing fall, given that he just lost twice last week.
No.
So that leaves Mystico, who I wouldn't think Mystico is going to be, eating the pin here, and then Speedball. So I'll say the Callis family wins. Speedball takes the loss. Speedball's got a match with Fletcher on Dynamite tomorrow, by the way.
That was probably one of the best matches in the Continental Classic outside of Moxley and Fletcher.
I thought it was one of the best TV matches all year. So if it's anything like that match they had in December, that's going to be a fun one tomorrow.
Going with the Don Callis family. The one that, I actually didn't look at it that way with Kevin Knight. I actually kind of looked down on it. He lost twice. Very predictable. And I just felt like that main event came together legitimately as the show was going on. That's the way it felt to me.
Well, it did. I mean, it was a WWE style setup. They usually, good because they usually don't do that, right? They don't set up the main event typically in the middle of the show. That's a WWE trope. So I wasn't necessarily a big fan of that, but I mean, it felt out of place because we don't usually see that on Dynamite. Usually they just list 6 or 7 fucking matches and then they just kind of jump into them. But no, I mean, I didn't see it as like a burial of him or anything like that. I mean, we knew he wasn't beating MJF. And then as far as the trios titles go, I was happy to see them dump the belts because why did Hangman need to have the trios titles? He's firmly entrenched in the world title scene right now. He's challenging MJF. Like, they didn't need the trios titles on these guys. So I was more happy.
That also came together very randomly too, legitimately in the moment.
Yes. Well, and maybe that was necessitated by Hobbs leaving. So I can at least excuse that. But yeah, I didn't look at it as any sort. Again, I don't see how people can see that as any sort of burial or anything. I think that Kevin Knight, I think, is going to be fine. If I'm wrong, then hey, I'll be the first to admit that I was wrong. But I think they see him as someone that they can really push hard this year, and he gets a lot of television time lately. He had 2 squash matches over the last couple of weeks, right? Which was to build to the match with MJF. But like the Continental Classic really felt like a breakout for him. He wrestled some big names. He got some big. Didn't he pin Okada? I think in one of the matches.
He did.
Yeah, he pinned Okada and Darby.
He beat Darby. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that what they've done with him illustrates the opposite. I don't think it's any sort of burial. I think that he should have a good year.
The one match I am terrified of because they're coining this as no time limit. Jon Moxley versus Konosuke Takeshita for the AEW Continental title. Now, does this go 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes? We don't know. There's already 8 matches on this show, including 9 with the pre-show. How long are we going here?
Well, I mean, I think we'll find out tomorrow if they add any new matches. If they don't add any new matches and they keep it at the current number, I think it's going long. Because usually these shows have a lot more than 8 or 9 matches. So if it's a lower number than usual, I think that they're going at least 30.
Well, if there's anyone that's going to have match of the night, it's these 2 guys, especially after what Moxley's done the last couple of months and that match with Fletcher at World's End. So looking forward to it. Takeshi's going to win. I think he takes the Continental title finally. He's run through, Moxley has, the entire Don Callis family. I don't know what else is stopping him. So yeah. Takeshi's got to be the guy. And then I think Jason's prophecy is going to come true. We got Okada and Takeshita, and the unified title will be once again rebuilt at All In. Tag team titles on the line. FTR against the Bucks. They're really pushing the OG version of the Bucks here, Jason. We got them coming off FTR attacking their family on Collision a couple of weeks ago. They're in Los Angeles. This is tailor-made for a Young Bucks World Tag Team title win.
I think it will be.
Hopefully this is a better match than the last time we got it. Hopefully.
Well, the last one was what? Dynasty, right?
Yeah.
Was that a bad match?
It was boring. It was born out of that tag team title tournament.
I remember Jack Perry came back.
Yeah, because they had showed the footage of Punk and Perry, yeah.
I don't even remember much about the match. I honestly, I remember they had a television match. Might have been their second match that they ever had. That was really good. I don't remember much about the Dynasty match. And then I know they were involved in a couple of multi-team matches over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird. Like, I feel like this is played out, and I'm not like overly excited for it, but it's also been almost 2 years technically since we've gotten it. I'm expecting a good match here. There's no reason to think that these two teams would have anything other than a good match. It feels to me like the Bucks are going to win the belts back. I could see a Copeland and Christian cameo here. Maybe, during the match, maybe that leads to them losing, or in the immediate aftermath of the match. I feel like they may factor into things here.
Well, they got to come back eventually. They just left very open-ended, and we don't know where they went. So, Bucks are going to win. New tag team champions. Chris Statlander versus Tekla. AEW Women's Championship, 2 out of 3 falls. Way too early to take the belt off Tekla. I feel she's just getting really, nice swing of momentum here. She's one of the hottest things on their television show lately. It would be a mistake to go back to Stat, but I don't know. They could surprise us. Stat's got this new character. She looks almost like a Mrs. Terminator out there. She's standing next to Thunder Rosa, almost like a Secret Service agent. I don't know what they're doing with her character. She's undergone various transformations character-wise. She was very emotional about how AEW really hasn't given her an opportunity to really kind of get the fans to invest in what she's doing. I don't know, Jason. How do you feel they're going to go here? I think it's a mistake to take the belt off Tekla.
Tekla retains.
Okay.
That's all you had to say.
What about Stat? It's kind of over with, huh?
For the time being, I think, yeah. Doesn't mean they shouldn't, continue to build her up for her to eventually challenge for it again and win it back. But it just feels to me like Tekla, she deserves her run. Statlander, look, you could argue that they could have done a better job with her, but she beat Toni Storm twice, and she beat Mercedes. So, and who else? She beat somebody else. Who else did she beat? Jamie Hayter.
Yeah, but I agree with
Mercedes
you. You are
Moné
correct.
and Toni Storm, Mercedes Moné, and Jamie Hayter. So anybody saying like, oh, they didn't do anything with her, or no,
But,
they gave her 3 wins over the 3, I would argue, other biggest names that she could be in the ring with. So could it have been a longer run? I agree. Yes, I wouldn't have taken the belt off her that quickly, but I think that they tried to at least give her credibility by giving her these big wins, and now they just have to continue to build on it. What I don't want is for her to lose here, and then she just sort of, well, she's not the champion anymore, so we're not going to really focus our energy on her. No, you need to just continue to feature her on the show. Even though she's not the champion, doesn't mean you don't, feature her in a major way. But Tekla's had 1 title defense so far.
Well, you're correct about Statlander. She did beat those names, but as a counterpoint to your point, I have to ask you, to me, the way that I look at it, if you beat Mercedes and you beat Toni Storm twice, you should be legitimately positioned at the level of Mercedes and Toni Storm. You should be an elite performer there, or at least character-wise, the way the company's pushing you, feel as big as those women are. Maybe not as big, but almost at that level. Does Stat feel like she's at that level? Because she certainly doesn't feel that level to me. I feel like she's grown a little bit, but after you beat those women, I felt like they dropped the ball majorly on her. She doesn't feel any bigger.
No, she doesn't feel like she's at that level. No. And I think it's a combination of the way that she was pushed and featured on the show, but also like some of the promo segments and stuff, they weren't that great.
No.
And I can say the same thing about Mercedes and some of the promo stuff and the big celebrations and everything. Like, that was some horrendous television. Let's just be honest. But with Statlander, like they would have her out there and she would cut promos and stuff. And it was like, this is not great. So that didn't help her cause, but sure, they could have done more. They could have done more over the last year and a half. Jamie Hayter was another one where it's like, why are they taking so long to try to build her back up? She was your world champion, and then she came back with a whole new makeover, and they really weren't doing a whole lot with her in those first few months. Why do they do this? Why do they do the things they do sometimes? I have no fucking idea. I don't know.
Now she's a brawling bird.
She's the bird now, yes. If Lyra was in the company, they could have Lyra and Jamie together. They could be, both birds. But Tekla deserves to have a longer run with the belts. She's very unique. Just the way that she even, her mannerisms and the way she carries herself. She's a great promo, too.
She is?
She's a much better promo than Chris Statlander is. So let her run with it for a little bit. Let her go with it. But again, she's only had one title defense so far against Thunder Rosa. So she's going to win this match. It's 2 out of 3 falls, by the way.
Yes, I did mention that. 2 out of 3
mention
falls.
that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Big one. AEW World Championship. Texas Death. Adam Page and MJF for the AEW World Championship. You would have to assume that MJF retains the title here, but it will be a bloodbath.
Oh, it's going to be a violent mess of a match here. But the bigger thing is the stipulation that if Hangman doesn't win, he can never again challenge for the AEW World Title. And people are like, well, Hangman's going to win, right? Because of course you're not going to put him in a corner like that. Hangman should not win, though. I get the appeal of him winning and then you do Swerve and Hangman. That would be fucking great. But it's just too premature to take that belt off MJF. I don't know. Why would you even consider doing that right now?
No, I mean, you laid it out great last week. I think you the one mentioned it. If Page loses, he's got the casino gauntlet at All In.
That's all. So that's your way around it.
No real thinking about it. If Jason came up with it in 10 seconds, why can't they?
It took me 5 seconds to come up with it. It's like, how do we get around the stipulation? It's like, yeah, they could always say he's not eligible for it, but I don't think they're going to do that. If he ends up in the gauntlet match at All In, I'm sure they're going to do another one this year. He wins the briefcase, and he's got that in his back pocket, and that's his way. That's his way around it.
So we're looking at MJF retaining, and then MJF for Swerve at Dynasty.
Everything looks like that. I don't know when Kenny Omega is going to be back. I don't know. Oh, look, he may make a surprise appearance on this show for all we know. But that's the question. When Kenny comes back, he's going to go after Swerve. So maybe Swerve, I don't know, doesn't get the next shot. That's the one thing I'm not sure of. I don't know.
Well, Kenny would have to get his win back over Swerve because Swerve cheated.
Well, he'd have to beat Swerve, and then Kenny could get his shot. And that doesn't feel like it's happening, at least until Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
So I would say yes, MJF and Swerve seems like the next direction. I think Swerve is going to do something in this match to screw Hangman over. And so when Hangman loses, and oh my God, I can never again challenge for the title, it's going to be Swerve's fault.
I could see that.
Because I think Swerve is trying to clear the field.
Yep.
Because he wants that lane open so he can get back to the belt. He took out Kenny. And now you got this amazing stipulation where if he loses, he can't even challenge for the belt. I think he's going to factor into that finish. And if that happens, then I'm sure Hangman will, give it right back to him, with Dynasty and probably fuck him over in his match.
Hey, listen, I can't complain if we're heading towards another Swerve and Hangman one-on-one match.
I'm ready for it, man. It's been a while since we've seen one. I don't need to see the syringes and all that, but I'm down for it.
And that is your AEW Revolution card on Sunday. I know I'll be live with Jesse like a fucking madman. What are you doing? You're not going live?
It's a Sunday night this time. I'm leaning towards going live.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, a lot of times it's on a Saturday, and I got the podcast on Sunday morning.
Yeah,
so it's very difficult for me. But this time, I think I will probably watch it live.
All right, so that's that. We got a couple more stories, and then we'll get into these super chats. One little story, and then one kind of ridiculous story. But WWE is very hopeful for this Monday's Raw because it is in San Antonio, and they are hopeful that Steve Austin, Stone Cold Steve Austin, will make an appearance. This was reported on WrestleVotes today during a live Q&A on Fightful Select. It was revealed that conversations have taken place between Steve Austin and WWE regarding return for 316 Day in San Antonio. The timing and location of the March 16th event has fueled speculation that Austin could appear on the show. Now, WrestleVotes says, and I quote, "We talked to a couple people over the weekend. There have been conversations that I don't want to say WWE has invited Steve Austin to Raw next Monday night on 316 in San Antonio, but there are people who work for the company that are very hopeful Steve Austin will be on that show. You see, what I find most interesting, this would be his first Monday Night Raw appearance since before COVID." So he added, did TC. We're hearing, I'll say, decent shot. He's on the show next week. I can see it. It's 316 Day on a Monday in San Antonio. So the last time we saw Austin on TV was during WrestleMania 38. He defeated Kevin Owens in a surprise no-holds-barred match, and he made a brief appearance at WrestleMania 41. to announce the attendance figure for WrestleMania that year. And then obviously with Brett in the Hall of Fame and their match at WrestleMania 13. I don't know. I mean, what would you bring him in for, Jason, outside the symbolic 316? Is it, I know the video game's coming out this week. Maybe it's something to do with
the Era Edition, man. They got the Attitude Era Edition of the video game that's out. Like, you want to promote the video game?
Yep.
Get him on the show. Look, I would love to see him on the show and have some sort of interaction with CM Punk. It's been a while since we've seen the two of them interact in like a backstage segment. It's hard to believe. I guess the last television appearance was probably that it was one of those first COVID shows. I think that might have also been 316. Remember, he was in the empty performance center, and it was just sad.
Then he toasted. What did he toast? Montez Ford or Becky Lynch or whatever. I don't know.
Becky Lynch. No, well, you know the story behind that, right?
No,
because Becky got drunk during that segment. She got buzzed, and that's how her and Seth had their kid.
Oh, really?
I believe that's how the story goes. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Thanks, Uncle Steve. Huh?
Yeah, Uncle Steve.
Stone Cold Steve Austin has come.
So anyway, so yeah, I mean, like, how are you going to have a 316 day in Texas and not have Stone Cold on the show? But he's very picky about, when he makes his appearances. So I don't know. He's very content to just not leave, Nevada. He's in Nevada. He doesn't live in Texas anymore. So he's in Nevada. So to go to Vegas for Mania would be easy for him. It's like a 4-hour drive. I don't know. It comes down to Stone Cold. I love the wording of that report, though, where it's like, we're not going to say he was invited to the show, but there's a very good chance he'll be there. Like, he's just going to show up on it, like, without telling anybody. They're going to get to the building that night and be like, did anybody talk to Steve? Like, nope. Okay, well, maybe he'll show up. Like, I'm sure someone's reached out to him and said, hey, we'd love to have you on the show. They said nothing about it last night, so nothing was announced. But I would love to see him there. It's up to him, man. He basically controls his own destiny. He doesn't need the money. Maybe he just wants to stay home with Poncho and Macho and clean horse shit on the ranch. I don't know. I hope we see him.
So that means possibly Austin, Lesnar, Reigns, and Punk in the same building.
Yeah.
Sounds like a WrestleMania road to me.
So then he won't interact with any of them. He'll have a segment with Danhausen.
Yeah, really. You are cursed. ESPN.
And then what happens?
He doesn't.
Something bad has to happen.
He doesn't drink any more beer for the rest of his days.
I was going to say
there's a
he'll
beer
be at
drought.
WrestleMania. He'll be at WrestleMania and he'll drive his ATV into the fan, but he already did that last year.
Yeah, this time it'll be Nick Khan. He'll drive it into. ESPN is the last thing we'll end with. Supposedly, they dropped WWE grades from reviews after some WWE pushback, according to multiple sources. This is coming from Post Wrestling and Brandon Thurston. ESPN put a stop to letter grades in its editorial reviews of the PLEs after WWE's objections, according to multiple sources familiar with the matter. Letter grades rating a pro wrestling show may seem inconsequential. Whether a content provider, though, like WWE can influence the editorial practices of a major broadcast partner like ESPN is a more significant issue. WWE's involvement in the removal of the letter grades was first reported by Dave Meltzer this week, citing someone on the WWE side had gotten the letter grades killed. An ESPN spokesperson declined to provide comments for this report. However, one source with knowledge of ESPN's approach maintained that the decision to discontinue letter grades was ESPN's alone and that WWE did not request the change. Sure thing. I don't believe that for a fucking second. When pressed to explain the reasoning for the removal of grades and whether WWE took issue with the reviews, the source declined to respond further. WWE did not return inquiries from Post, including a request to respond to whether WWE expressed discomfort with any aspect of the WWE PLE reviews that included letter grades from ESPN.com. The reviews were written by ESPN Combat Sports reporter Andres Hale, covering the same premium live events whose broadcast rights ESPN recently acquired in a 5-year, $1.6 billion media deal, bringing WWE's biggest events to ESPN. The first ESPN PLE was WrestlePalooza, which received a grade C from Hale, which drew significant attention from fans and social media. Hale went on to review the following month's PLE, Crown Jewel, in October, giving it an overall B grade. And granted, it was a better show. So B kind of, is in line with what happened there. Since then, Hale has published post-event reviews of WWPLEs, but without letter grades applied to the event overall or the matches individually as he had before. Now, it is worth noting that Hale's reviews of UFC events also use letter grades and have continued to do so as recently as this past weekend's UFC 326 event. His UFC reviews have consistently used letter grades, including while ESPN held UFC broadcast rights and well before August 2025 when it was announced UFC would leave ESPN in favor of Paramount. Hale did not provide a comment when contacted by Post Wrestling. ESPN's decision contrasts with promises made by executives at the beginning of its new broadcast relationship with WWE. On a media call on September 17th, just before the $325 million per year deal went into effect, ESPN executives were asked if ESPN reporters would still have full independence in how they covered WWE. Senior Vice President of ESPN, John Lasker, was clear. I think the answer to that is an emphatic yes, he says. The other executive on the call, then Vice President of Programming, Matt Kenny, who moved to CBS Sports in October, agreed. Unequivocal, yes. That's separation of church and state. In their roles, Lasker and Kenny were not necessarily overseeing ESPN's journalistic work. Post Wrestling contacted ESPN's editorial leadership for comment, but they did not provide statements. Hale authored a piece with original comments from Seth Rollins, which ran on September 18th, 2 days before WrestlePalooza. The event Hale gave a mixed review. Since then, ESPN's digital reporters who previously had frequent access to WWE talent hadn't had a new story with original comments from WWE talent. An ESPN spokesperson did not respond to a question about whether ESPN reporters on the editorial side have recently had difficulty getting access to talent. The source with knowledge of ESPN's approach contended there have been no issues with access, pointing to WWE talent appearing on ESPN's televised broadcast. However, the source did not provide, and we could not find any, example of recent access granted to ESPN's digital editorial staff for original reporting or interviews since September. Now, on Cage Match, which uses a 10-point scale, WrestlePalooza is currently at a 5.31 with a rating from 293 users. WrestlePalooza, which Hale graded a C, currently has an average of 2.4 out of 5 based on ratings from about 1,400 users on the Dropkicked app. Whatever the fuck that is.
Well, because the show sucked. I mean, this is the longest story ever. I mean, we get the point. I'm not surprised by any of this. I mean, I don't think you're surprised by any of this.
No.
It was going to rub people the wrong way at some point. Although I think the last PLE grade was like a B, which isn't terrible. So this is not surprising. It's sad. I think it's pathetic. And I think this whole idea of a separation between church and state, I mean, it sounded like, bullshit from the beginning. And at some point, someone's going to get their feathers ruffled. And someone made a phone call, whoever it was, and here we are. Because I did notice that, I think, with the Rumble. Like, I was curious. And there was no letter grade. We still have yet to have what I would consider to be a real slam dunk, like home run PLE under the ESPN era. I mean, we talked about that, I think, once before. Crown Jewel was probably maybe the best of the bunch, but yeah. I'm still waiting for that one really good show. These big premium live events, the ESPN era, we're still waiting. We're still waiting. I mean, has there been one show that people were overwhelmingly like, oh my God, this is like show of the year material here?
I don't know.
They've been doing them since September.
On ESPN, no, it's Crown Jewel. I'd probably have to go back to Bad Blood to find. I don't even think Bad Blood was really that great. It was McIntyre, Punk in the cage, and then that tag team match with Roman and Cody teaming up. Everything else, I don't even remember.
Bad Blood was October of 2024.
I know. That's the point I'm trying to make. You have to go back to all the way to that to figure out what was a decent PLE with these people.
Evolution.
Well, that was I mean, fine. Sure. That's not like an every year thing though. I'm talking about the
PLE. It was a PLE in July of last
year,
year, so I'll give them their flowers for that. It was a show that was added late to the calendar, but outside of that, yeah, I mean, it's a struggle to really think of like one particular event that's like, man, that was a great PLE. Like, that's a show that I would spend $30 on and not regret my purchase. I can't say that for a lot of the other shows. Was Elimination Chamber worth $30 if you had to pay the $30?
No, it wasn't worth fucking $3.
Royal Rumble, was that worth $30?
No.
Okay. Well, I sure hope WrestleMania is worthwhile.
Well, you know what you're going to get. It's way more of the same. You know, the funny thing is, the scariest thing of all is that they'd rather point the finger of blame at ESPN and fucking scare ESPN to take down these ratings than actually make their shows better. That's that's the most fucked up thing about it. Like, they honestly operate thinking that everything is all right and that they don't deserve a C grade or a D grade.
Yeah, I mean, it's like instead of treating the underlying issue, you're putting a Band-Aid on it.
Yeah. Oh, my God. You don't hate these people enough, chat. You don't hate them enough. Anyway, that's all we got. Thank you for a great TNT tonight. We're going to get into your super chats and then wrap it up and get you guys out of here. Please, if you guys want to get in on the super chat fund, they are open, and we are going to read through them in just a second. But if you guys want to go follow Jason on social media, everything is linked down below in the description. If you guys want to hit that thumbs up, leave a comment, all that stuff helps us out tremendously. We are 35 likes away from 1,000. We still got 2,600 people in here. I know you guys can do that, so please do that for us. And it's going to be a busy month. We got Revolution coming up on Sunday. And we got a couple of other major events happening. House of Glory on March 21st. We got Vegas coming up. We got Jason doing the Sound Off and Uncrowned. And it's a busy, busy time, man. It's great. WrestleMania season is locked and loaded here on TNT and everywhere else. So thank you guys very much. Get into these super chats. We're going to start with Michael Krause, as always. $2 super chat. JD Jason, OTS, TNT. How is everyone? Let's go. Yeah. Thank you, Michael.
Shout out to Michael.
Bader. What's up, my brother? Hello to the greats, JD and Jason. What are your top 5 WWE title reigns of all time? Also, I might be watching WrestleMania this year at the Cinema Theater. Let's hope the card is encouraging enough. Top 5 title reigns of all time, WWE title.
So you're going to be going to the Cinema Theater on back-to-back nights?
I guess so.
Okay. Interesting experience. 5 greatest WWE title runs or title wins?
He says title reigns of all time.
I don't know if I have, like, a reign that I'm like married to is my favorite.
Yeah, I can't.
That's
I
a
can't
hard
even,
one.
Can't even think of one right now.
I mean, is there a reign that I'm like, man, that reign was fucking awesome from top to bottom? Yeah. I mean, Macho Man had a pretty damn good run as the champion in 88 into 89. As far as I know, business wise, and I was a big fan of the Mega Power story. I don't really know if that meant that the reign is my favorite. I don't know. You know, Brett held the belt 5 times. Even Brett, like, did he really have one reign that stands head and shoulders above the rest?
You know, this is gonna be a very unpopular reign, and I may get shit on it by Jason here, but I did not mind Diesel's reign as WWE champion.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get shit on for it. That's a terrible choice.
I can't hate on it with the matches he had with Brett, bro. I can't do it.
I mean, he had 2 matches with Brett during that run,
and they were fucking great.
If that's your okay, so what? But if that's your criteria, so now we're getting into great matches that people had during their runs. I can find probably 10 other ones where guys had at least 2 really good matches during their runs.
I think he got shit on just heavy-handed with that. I don't know why he got shit on so badly.
I mean, maybe some people go overboard with it, but by no means am I going to sit here and say, oh, you know what? Man,
I'm not saying it's one of my favorite ever. I'm just giving him some props.
That was the
there.
question.
I can't think of one, so I went with that one.
That was literally his question. I want everybody in the chat to remember this day. That Bader asked the question, what is your favorite all-time title run, top 5 favorite runs? And the first answer out of JD's mouth was Diesel in 1995, okay? You should just, seriously, you got to migrate away from this channel. Come on over. The water's warm on the other side. You can't stay here anymore. This is terrible.
Vader, thank you very much, man. We appreciate you being here, brother.
It's just awful.
No, I never said I disliked HBK. I said I disliked HBK as a baby face. It was nauseating.
I'll give you one. I'm going to give you one.
Yeah.
And it's not a WWE one.
Okay.
Vader in 1992.
Okay.
WCW.
There you go. Michelle with the $2 super chat. How about making Punk the new leader of the Vision?
No.
No. Baby Shaq with the 46 months. What's up, JD and Solo? It's March 10th day. What are your favorite, or Marten Day? I don't know what Marten Day is, but he's asking what our favorite Mario games are. WWE Creative has really gone downhill for WrestleMania season.
Super Mario Brothers 3.
Yep.
And Super Mario World.
My favorite Mario game of all time, chat. Jason may shit on me for this, too, but I don't think he played it. Maybe he did. Maybe he'll surprise me. Super Mario RPG. RPG.
Okay. All right. I thought you were going to say Paper Mario.
Super Mario RPG is the best Mario game of all time.
I thought you were going to go with Mario Kart.
Now, the original Mario Kart, I mean, that's
original.
That's classic.
Yeah, the SNES one.
Yeah. Baby Shaq, thank you. Great question. Shane26 with a $7.99. Hey, JD Solo, hope you two are well. I'm going to see Linkin Park in Sydney on Sunday. Highly recommend JD to listen to Meteora after Hybrid Theory.
Yeah, he's still he's waiting for the weather to get nicer.
It could have been today.
It's been pretty nice this week.
I know. Listen, man, I hope you have a good time. But are they the same band live as they were then? Probably not, right? I don't know. Have a good time regardless, man. Also, with the new membership, Shane, thank you. Boss Mo Jackson with a $4.99. JD Solo, 2 thumbs up. You guys are the best. I appreciate the both of you. Another fire TNT. Let's keep it up, my brothers. Thank you, Boss Mo Jackson.
Thank you, brother.
Walker Stubbs with a $9.99. Hey, JD and Solo. Question for both of you. Which wrestler, both male and female, do you miss seeing weekly? Mine is Eve Torres and Santino Marella. Yes, you heard that correctly.
Kevin Owens. And said male and female?
Yeah.
I don't know. Kevin Owens and who are we missing on the female end?
Eva Marie.
Okay, so he just for the record, Diesel in 1995, and then Eva Marie. I just want everybody to be aware of that. Yeah, so my answer is not Eva Marie. Okay. Kevin Owens and Mariah May. Because I haven't been paying attention to what she's been doing in NXT.
You didn't watch that PLE on Saturday, huh?
I'm waiting for that main PL. I came home and I had to watch SmackDown. I wasn't concerned with the NXT show. I had to get caught up on SmackDown and Cody and Drew.
Well, you missed a good Blake Monroe and Jetta Parker match. Street fight.
Because my plan was I have YouTube TV and I was going to download it offline at the hotel before I went to the airport and watch it on the plane. And then because it was in the library, and when I went to go download it locally, it wasn't yet available to download locally. I guess maybe you have to wait like a day or something stupid like that. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm watching it when I go home.
Yeah, I watched it on the plane, and I watched it via one of them watch wrestling sites on the plane, which wasn't the greatest experience. But
how many pop-ups did you get?
None, actually. I just got very shoddy service. It was kind of stuttering in and out. So, Walker Stubbs, thank you, brother. Michelle with a $2 super chat. Any chance fans turn on Cody in favor of Randy? Oh, there's a good chance. There's a good chance. I don't know how many will actually turn on Cody, but there is definitely a good chance. Thomas Malloy with a $1.99 Solo. Best season of The Shield. I just started season 5.
Maybe season 5. I mean, I love every season of that show, honestly. It was 7 seasons in total. 5 is, man, such a great show. You never watched that show, did you?
I have not, no.
Yeah, you need to watch The Sopranos first. And then eventually you need to watch this.
Well, I just finished Stranger Things last weekend.
That's right. You told me you were watching the last episode.
I didn't get the online hate. I don't know what the problem was. I actually quite enjoyed
the problem. The problem was that they thought they played it too safe because they didn't kill off very many major characters.
Oh no, so there are some people that just don't want to see that.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying that I think that's where a lot of the hate is coming from, and also just some of the scenes. I think one of the big issues was when they make it to that other world, there's no Demogorgons. So like we see them throughout the season and throughout the series, and when they get to, it's like the final level of the video game, and there's no demos. And that was, and I admit that was kind of ridiculous. But realistically, like if they were all there, they wouldn't have. They would have all been slaughtered. Like they wouldn't have stood a chance. It's still a TV
But
show.
they killed
you know what I mean?
they killed Vecna though. Like he was in control of all that. Right?
Well, at the end they did.
Yeah.
But when they get to that world initially, and they're getting to like the flare, the mind flayer, it's like, where are the demos?
Oh, then everybody would have been dead. Yes, like
Right.
you said. Yeah.
That's the whole point. Everybody would have been slaughtered. So
No, but Mike's theory about the end and where Elle went, I think he was correct in everything.
Coping. I think that's him coping.
No.
Coping with the loss.
No, we never saw Callie get shot. I thought that was all an illusion. They set that all up. It was fake.
I think that was him coping with the loss.
All right.
That's what I think.
All
But as
right.
far as the Shield, look, you can't go wrong with any of the seasons. I think five may be my choice, but two's a very strong one also.
Listen, Will's story is not something to complain about in the series. I actually thought Will's scene in season 5 was actually quite heartwarming, to be quite honest with you. I thought it all made sense. I mean, you're watching the fucking seasons, season after season after season. You knew what was coming. Come on. It's not a reason to hate the fucking show, man. Give me a break. Edward with a $4.99 for Mania 40 to 42. Cody will have been in 20 PLE matches. They have all involved a world title in some way. This is why people are tired. All right. Well, where's that same energy for Rhea Ripley, where every one of her WrestleMania matches has been a title match? Who cares? You're talking about Mania 40, 41, and 42? Bro, you realize we lived through Hogan, and Roman Reigns has how many main events? 10?
11.
11?
I believe this will be 12. Again, if you're counting 40 as 2.
Yes, we are.
So I think he's at 11 now, and then this would be 12, I believe.
People just want to
Hogan was at like 9. He beat Hogan a while ago.
Yeah. Bossmo Jackson with a $4.99. So I just started watching Ted, the TV series. First episode piqued my interest. So far, so good. Is that a show you guys would be interested in? It has 2 seasons. I watched season 1. I don't know if Jason watched it. I love season 1. I didn't realize there was a season 2 yet. I didn't think.
Is that with the bear?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. I saw the movie. It was a movie, right? I
Yes.
saw the movie. I didn't see the show. I also have to check out that Chucky series. Apparently, the Chucky TV series was really good. And I watched the. I didn't watch all the Chucky movies. I watched most of them, so I'm more likely to catch up with that one at some point before I watch Ted.
Lord Maestro with a $4.99. Honestly, JD, instead of corporate Punk, I think it'll be like Y2J heel turn on HBK. Punk said nothing but the truth. Just want to send some love. Well, thank you, Maestro. I appreciate that. Yeah, I talked about maybe Punk going heel at the end of WrestleMania on Reigns.
Corporate Punk?
Yeah, something I pitched back a year ago
I
when
mean,
The Rock was on
corporate-
TV.
Yeah, corporate Punk. I don't know how I feel about that.
Like I said, guys, it was just a very, very vivid pipe dream. It wasn't anything too crazy. I was just going back on what I said last year.
The thing is, like, a corporate Punk only works if he has a really good babyface foil.
Yeah. That could be wrong.
Without that, it just doesn't work.
Sidro, $2 super chat. What do you get when you drop a piano on a kid? A flat minor.
I like that.
Cam G, my guy Cam G with a $5 super chat. Just showing love. Keep up the great work. Thank you, brother. Sticky Doodle with a $1.99. Will Jesse ever make an appearance on TNT? No. No. Isaac with a 14 months. He says, solo. Fiend.
Is he going to come out again during the Orton match at WrestleMania?
Oh, God.
Can you imagine?
No. Joseph Marino with a $4.99. Vince McMahon is and will always be wrestling. Don't forget who made Ted Turner fold. Nobody comes close. He had passion and vision.
Okay. So. He did not make Ted Turner fold. Ted Turner had his nuts cut off with the AOL Time Warner merger. So just to correct the record there.
He had vision.
I'm just saying, like, again, WWE, they won the war, so they get to rewrite history the way they want to rewrite history. We killed our competition. You know what? You may have sped up the demise, but the competition did more to kill the competition than anything else. But Ted Turner did not fold to Vince McMahon. Ted Turner got folded as a result of the worst merger in history. And WWE, of course, they tell their story the way they tell it.
Evil God with a 499. What was the real reason why Vince McMahon fired people in 21? There were rumors going around saying that it was budget cuts plus NXT was butchered that year.
Well, I know a lot of people got furloughed because of the pandemic, and that was pretty common in a lot of companies. And it was shitty. It was shitty to fire people during a pandemic, but it's all corporate. It's all about corporate greed and the bottom line. It just comes down to money at the end of the day.
Well, we got to stop the music, and we got to give this guy his flowers. Oh, my goodness. Havili comes in with a $200 super chat from Brisbane. This guy's coming in late here. Look at this guy. Shows up in style. WWE are doing a 42 greatest WrestleMania moments so far. 42 Hogan, Austin, Rock. 41 Tag Team Championship match. The Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. 40 Ronda, The Rock attack Triple H and Stephanie. 39 End of an Era. 38 Rock and Cena attack the Wyatts. And 37 Hogan, Mr. T versus Piper and Orndorff. What will be number one?
Hogan slamming Andre at WrestleMania 3.
So I think they go with Cody and Roman at WrestleMania 40.
Well, I mean, on a current WWE list, you may be right. You may be right, but it said moment, and to me, there will be no greater WrestleMania moment than the Hogan slamming Andre. Like that's just the quintessential WrestleMania moment.
Yes, I can't argue with you. Thank you, Havili. Thank you for coming in here, brother. Thank you for your generosity. We love Havili. We got Joseph Marino bringing out the monster and Solid Monster. So thank you there for the $4.99. Evil Good, thank you. Sidro, why didn't Quentin Tarantino love feet? He's lactose intolerant. Okay. Speaking of Tarantino, I just watched that movie Frankenstein on Netflix. Fantastic fucking movie. Have you seen that? Dude, trust me. I was enthralled for 2.5 hours. It's fucking great. Yeah.
No, I never saw it.
Yeah.
I did recently rewatch From Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh, that's a good one too.
And the scene with Salma Hayek when they're all spellbound by her in the club or the bar or whatever it is, and yeah.
That's what we call cinema.
Oh yes. It is classic cinema.
Gavin Thieth with a $5 super chat. Loving my AEW. However, I'm a bit worried about the lower pricing for pay-per-views, that the amount of matches will lower them from 13 to 8 to 4 to 3 junk PLEs. Yeah, a lot of people, I didn't include this in the news this week because there's just not enough information about it. People are making up their theories. And we were talking about it in the sound check. Triller TV is going bankrupt. They're filing for bankruptcy. So AEW just wants a contingency plan internationally so that their fans, still have access to AEW and may actually open up more eyes and ears to AEW internationally. So everybody's making a big deal about this for one reason or another with the Paramount Warner merger. We don't know anything yet. Let's leave it the way it is.
Yeah. I mean, again, I don't know if they've filed for bankruptcy yet. There's been a lot of talk about it. I know they were delisted. I think they're from, what was it, NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange a few months ago. They got delisted. They're in rough financial shape right now.
Thank you, Gavin. Illuminati with a 5. Cody versus Randy has the potential to be a magical storyline with multiple banger matches. I don't know if they'll be banger matches. They'll be good matches, but I'm more interested in the verbal exchange between the two. I think the verbal exchanges we get over the next 6 weeks are actually going to be better than the matches. Ash with a $5 super chat. Hey, JD Solo, would you guys prefer one world title in WWE that floats? If so, who would be the champion? And who would be challenging him at WrestleMania 42?
I mean, I ideally you would have one world champion. So for me, it would be yes. And as far as who the champion would be, at the moment, I think that the champion at the moment would probably be Cody going into the show defending against, in this case, it would be Randy Orton.
Yeah.
But you would have a championship, the WWE Championship, which would float. I get why they want 2 titles. I understand it, but I'm just saying in a perfect world, you wouldn't have 2 world champions. You'd have 1.
I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of the brand split at all. I wish we'd go back to simpler times, but that's just me. Illuminati with a 2. We need our first punt kick since 2020. Oh, I think we get it. Over the next 6 weeks, you think we get it?
I think it's very possible that Jacob Fatu already got it.
Chris Nearfall podcast with the 43 months. What's up, JD Solo? Great TNT as always. PW Insider reported the original WrestleMania match with Cody and McIntyre would have been a Hell in a Cell match. And I'm sure it would have been fine, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
Did not want to see another singles match between Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania.
That's what it boils down to.
You could dress it up with whatever stipulation you want. I had no appetite for that.
Pablo Montoya with a $9.99. Tough to get behind Seth attacking the Vision, now considering Logan and Theory weren't even a part of the group when he was taken out. Probably why he didn't speak last night. Plus, Heyman was only an accomplice. That's a good theory. But one turned on him and everybody's got to feel the wrath. So that's what they're going with there. Big Ben, new membership. Thank you, Big Ben. We got Ken with a $9.99. Who was your favorite Spice Girl? Scary, sporty, baby, ginger, or posh? Huh. I will, at that time, me personally, Scary and Posh were my 2 favorite.
I think for me, it was Scary and Sporty. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kaz with a $5 super chat. If in charge, would you reset WWE and end the brand split? 1 title for both shows prior to 2002, bro. Yes. I would. But we're not going to end the brand split because Netflix and USA Network don't want that. They want their own rosters. Baltimore Jacks with a $1.99. Do you guys see a big push or a title for Balor at the end of 26?
No.
IC title maybe, but not the world title. Also with a $1.99, Royce Keys and Rusev joined the Judgment Day. Thoughts? Rusev in the Judgment Day? No.
No. I mean, I like the idea that I talked about earlier of Royce Keys as Dom's muscle in the Judgment Day. I think that'd be a good idea.
Nathan Rush with a $2 super chat. Yes, my request has been granted. Laughing emoji. Love you both. What request? Did he put in a request?
Who was that again? Was that,
Nathan Rush 51.
Oh, I don't know. It does remind me though. I'm actually, that triggered it in my brain from last night. A message from Cornell Bryant.
Oh.
Who apparently was silenced and is unable to chat here on your channel. He wanted me to let you know to try to reverse it.
How the fuck did that happen? You guys are getting very trigger happy with that. I didn't do that. I will take care of that as soon as the stream is over.
There you go.
Captain Solo with a $2 super chat. Austin Theory is like Natalia on the microphone. It's quite the comparison there, Solo. I don't know if I am making the correlation, but Natalia, I mean, it's not good television. I'll just leave it at that. Neither is Austin Theory, but I don't want to see either one of them. Keith Tunstall with a 25 months. I was more pissed off about the fact that the fans were chanting "Holy shit" during the Masked Man stuff last night.
Oh my God! I couldn't believe my ears when I heard that. I said, "How we have fallen." They didn't even do anything. This is what they ran out from the crowd, and there were so many of them, and the crowd just started chanting, "Holy shit! Holy shit!"
Yeah, they were not chanting "Holy shit" for the putties. Yeah. Oh my God! What have we turned into, man? This is pro wrestling in 2026.
Ridiculous.
Patches with a $10 super chat. Conspiracy theory. All of the superstars that Danhausen cursed on the road to Mania will be a part of a multi-man IC title match at WrestleMania 42. So for Dom and Grande, He will be a part of it as his debut housing.
He cursed the Miz too, didn't he?
He did. I don't know. We'll see. Could be onto something there. Can't be cursing everybody with no repercussions, with no consequence. Joker Face with a $4.99. Do you guys think Gargano is being punished right now because Ciampa went to AEW? WWE just watched Scream 7, so they are more happy to do masked stories.
No, they're not going to punish Gargano because his partner decided to leave. So I can see, though, Gargano just kind of biding his time until his contract is up.
Yeah.
And getting the hell out of there.
Yeah, somebody in WWE's got a mask fetish, for sure. I don't know who it is, but I'm pointing the finger at Bruce, for sure. Emoji Matt with a $9.99. What's up, Solo and JD? When are we going to get a roll-up on Shy and roll some Phillies and smoke some blunts? We need to climb aboard a certain train. We going straight to the bank, yo. Woo, wings. I think he rolled a little something before sending in this super chat.
I think so. I think he's under the influence of something tonight.
And it ain't woo wings.
Michael, maybe they were laced with something. But
doesn't he own a marijuana distributor or something? I don't. What is he doing nowadays, Flair?
What is he doing? He's hanging out at the Pearl, having a few libations in the middle of the day. That's what he's doing.
Is he going to be in Vegas with us?
I mean, if he's coming in for WrestleCon, he might be there. If there's a payday for him, I'm sure he'll be there. Michael
Krause with the $2 Super Chat. WWE was trying to get Austin for next week's Raw. Yes, we talked about that. It's 316 day. We'll see what happens. Mid-range with a $7.99. What if Roman says the apology must be as loud and public as the disrespect next week to Punk? IV denial, Solo.
I think it'll go over a lot of people's heads if he says that line. A very select few will know what he's talking about.
IV denial.
Denial?
Yeah, she looked good last night.
I said she was the one who came out of that match looking the best. I think SmackDown could use her.
Ray Reezy with a $10 Super Chat. Who are some wrestlers you guys could beat in a one-on-one match, past and present?
I think I could take Danhausen.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Even if he curses you?
I mean, he could curse me. It doesn't mean that my luck is going to immediately fail me. I think I would still get a good punch in. I could probably knock him on his ass, and then I'll take my chances with the curse.
Who could I take? I don't know. Michael Cole, maybe? Let's go with Michael Cole. He's an in-ring performer. Dell with a 14 months. How else could a Cody versus Orton feud build heat besides the Quest for 15 storyline?
I know who you can take.
Oh,
Chad Gable.
Yes, I was on Be the Booker apparently last night.
There's your opponent last night. I was like, man, this could go so many different ways. I mean, there's so many people in Be the Booker that probably don't like you. And then we landed on Chad Gable. I said, you know what? If he was going to have a good match, Chad would be the one that he would want to be in the ring with.
Listen, he'd lead me to a good match for sure. Quest for 15? No, they could go any which way. Orton's been eyeing the title for 2 years. They had the King of the Ring final. Their days in Legacy. Cody growing up and seeking guidance from Orton. Orton turning on Cody in the chamber when Cody had that triple threat match with Sammy and Jacob Fatu. And Sammy didn't take the advantage, but Randy Orton did. And there's a whole bunch of things they could talk about. We got 6 weeks. Chicago, 4 MBK. $5 Super Chat. Hey, Solo, listen to your Tuesday pod. We locals call the guaranteed rate field now the G spot. Alas, many have trouble finding it.
Yeah, I mentioned Revolution, being at the crypto.com arena. I said, can we call it the Staples Center so we don't have to call it the crypto.com arena? And I said, it's still not as bad as Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago where the White Sox play.
Is that the name of their fucking field?
That is, yes, Guaranteed Rate Field. Worst fucking name I've ever heard. And There have been some bad names, but that one, to me, that's at the top of the list.
How do you go about saying where you go, man? Do you abbreviate that? Yeah, we're going to GRF. Or do you say guaranteed? Yeah, we're going to guaranteed.
Whatever the name was before, you use that name and just pretend that none of this ever happened.
Comiskey Park was the original name, wasn't it?
Yeah. Call it Comiskey Park. There you go. I'm going to Comiskey. They'll know what you're talking about. Guaranteed rate field.
Oh my God.
Fucking break.
Face beers to the 2. I missed the scratch logo. Always excited me. Yeah, I didn't mind the scratch logo. Captain Solo with a $2 super chat from John Morrison to Johnny Catering. Pretty much. Also, Base Beer says with a 2, double chocolate chunk cookies. Yeah. Sunday, we see him again. Surprised he still has a contract. Hollywood guy with a $2 super chat. Road Dogg to AEW as new head writer. Book it.
I'm more worried about Road Dogg going to AEW and then he gets put back together with Billy Gunn.
Oh. You know that would happen.
Oh, yeah, we don't need that.
Logan the Inspired with a $20 super chat. I'm baffled by a WWE 2K26 rating. All versions of Triple H are 91. Batista is 88. Andre the Giant is 88. The Fiend is 92. Hollywood Hogan is 92. And with all that info taken in, Mark Henry is a 92. Thoughts?
I don't know that I could possibly care any less about these. They had them all on the screen last night every time a wrestler would come out. And I'm just like, I know people are going to be arguing about this online. And I'm like, I just can't expend any energy over it. Like, I don't know how they come up with this stuff. And I don't care. So
El Grande Americano had a higher rating than Penta.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of what I'm talking about. Like, there's no rhyme or reason for it. Like, what? Rhea Ripley supposedly had one of the highest ratings in the game. So I don't know what her number is.
I think it's like a 98.
Okay. So, okay, cool. I mean, Rhea's great, but how does Rhea have a 98 and Triple H has a 91? Is it just current stars are going to rank high? Like, I don't know what the criteria is. I don't know how they figure this out.
Meanwhile, you can go into the game and change everybody's rating anyway. So if you want Andre the Giant to be a 99, you can make Andre the Giant 99. Tony Brown with a $4.99. JD Jason, have either one of you seen the movie The War Machine? It's on Netflix. No, I saw the preview of it, though, when I was watching Stranger Things the other night. It looked all right. I don't know if it's something I'd actually watch.
I haven't seen it.
Don Fanucci with a 43 months. JD and Solo. Don Fanucci over here. Is it true that House of Glory is coming to the Globe Theater in Los Angeles on May 1st? TNT for life. Indeed.
That is true.
I feel like House of Glory is going to find a new home in Los Angeles. Just have a feeling.
I feel like we have. I feel like we have already. I mean, it was I wasn't there for the first LA show, but it's an iconic venue. It was packed in, and everybody had a great time. It's a great venue for pro wrestling.
Yes, aesthetically, it's beautiful. Keith Hobson with a 23 months. Great conversation. You guys are awesome. TNT for life. Thank you, Keith.
Thank you.
Havili with 13 months. Thank you, brother. Shout out from Brisbane, Australia. If WrestleMania 17 was 2 nights, if Austin Rock would main event night 2, what would you say the TLC 2 main event would main event night 1?
Well, if he's asking what do I think would main event night 1, do you think they'd put Vince and Shane over TLC?
Yes. At that time in that era, yes.
Yeah, that's probably what it would be. Especially with Linda rising up from her chair and all that stuff. Yeah, I could see them closing night 1 with that.
Base Beers with it too. Roman should come out with a Halloween skeleton dog. That's, at some point, Larry's going to be mentioned for sure. If Larry ain't mentioned, I'm going to be disappointed.
Oh, man, that's awful.
At zero.
Yeah. A Halloween skeleton dog.
Listen, is Roman that low? Find out on Monday, man. We don't know.
Oh, man.
08134 with $2 super chat. Bad Blood and Evolution were on Peacock. Yes. Yes, they were.
Yeah, I don't know where the NXT live events are going to be going because their Peacock deal is up in about 6 days.
Well,
and they have said nothing. We know Saturday night's main event is on there now, but the NXT stuff, it's expiring in like, I don't know, 5 or 6 days. And God forbid they should tell us where this shit's going.
Well, they got to do something quick. In 4 weeks, we got Stand and Deliver. So, got to watch it somewhere, unless it's on YouTube. Base Beers for the 2. Hey, it was either Nash or Mabel. Then Nash main event SummerSlam that year? I guess Mabel, 94?
Yes, it was awful.
Yes,
but apparently this is JD's like, he holds this in high regard. This is the peak of his wrestling fandom, apparently.
Michael Krause with the 2. JD Jason, what WWE and AW stars have you met in person?
I mean, too many to name.
Venom with a 5. I'm accepting that we'll never get wrestling like we did when the Cenas and the Undertakers and the Warriors of wrestling. It's not good anymore, and it sucks to say that.
I mean, I realize that every time something new pops up on the WWF Vault or WWE Vault and the WCW channel, I think one of my favorite things that they've uploaded, believe it or not, was on the WCW channel a few weeks ago, and it's only part 1. It's over 2 hours long. It says part 1 of Sting in 1992. Dude, this is fucking wrestling. Like I'm not even done with it yet. I'm taking my time with it. But like I watch this and I watch the crowd reactions and I'm like, fuck. What happened?
I don't know.
You know, especially with these dead crowds that we had on Raw the last 6 weeks. I'm like, how did we go from that to this? I know they're making more money now than they did back then, but I like, what happened? Where did that go?
Times change. It was cool then, and they changed with the times, and it's just not cool now. To the generation that we are living in. I don't know. Just people trying to relive their past childhood, like us, hoping for it to be like that again. I don't know. Harpreet with a $6.99. What do you guys think of the Ruthless Aggression era? I grew up loving it. Pay-per-views like SummerSlam 02 and One Night Stand 05-06 were top notch. I mean, those are 2 of my favorite pay-per-views of all time. Especially the 06 One Night Stand. The 02 SummerSlam was the best SummerSlam of all time, in my opinion. I don't know what Jason thinks.
You know, they also just uploaded a dark match to the WWE Vault channel. I think it was today. I don't know if you saw it. It was right after Rock won the title of Survivor Series. It had to be like a week later. It was a Sunday Night Heat taping. And this is a dark match, dude. Like, I'm watching this going, this could have been a pay-per-view main event. Like, it's a 4-way match with Austin, Undertaker, Kane, and Rock right after Rock had won the belt. And for some reason, the big boss man is the referee, which is weird. And, dude, I swear to God, this crowd did not stop. I mean, it's Austin in 98, but this crowd did not stop making noise for the entire 15 minutes of the video.
Hey, you can't fucking buy a reaction out of these crowds in some cities they go in.
But this video is like, it's the Attitude Era in 15 minutes. Like, it was so much fun. And I'm like, and it's not like, you know, a static camera. Like, it looks like it could have come off a TV show. It was a dark match. It didn't air. And just incredible. Like, the atmosphere and everything, it's just unbelievable. It's incredible stuff. I'm really glad that we like lived through that era.
Yeah, I didn't know they uploaded that. I gotta go and check that out.
Yeah, I think it might have been today. And I brought it up and I was watching some of it earlier and just so much fun. I mean, it was great. And then at the end, Austin stunning everybody, Stooges come in and everyone's losing their mind. It's fucking great.
Furious Nation with 53 months. What's up, JD Solo? Good TNT tonight. Going to Raw and MSG and possibly NXT Roadblock, repping both OTS and TNT. Also pumped for ACW Aftershock.
It's a lot of wrestling.
A lot of wrestling. Thank you for representing the brands, bro. Appreciate you.
Yeah, have fun, brother.
Scottsy with a 199. Thoughts on AEW Plus, JD? Solo bareback champion.
That's Rocker Steiner. Rocker Steiner.
Yeah, Rocker Steiner. We talked about that a little bit ago, Scottsy. Hollywood guy with a $2 super chat. Where are the War Raiders? I don't know. I'd be worried if I'm the War Raiders. Fox Boom with the 199. JD vs. Chad Gable. If you know, you know. Base Beers for the $2 super chat. Best topping on pizza. Also, best topping on a hot dog. Oh.
Well, oh boy, I haven't had pizza in a long time, but I don't think I ever had pizza like with any topping. Like I wasn't a pepperoni guy, so I don't. So I don't think I ever had any topping on the pizza.
To answer your question, Base Beers, buffalo chicken, and I love hot honey with pepperoni.
On a hot dog, it's just mustard.
Yeah, spicy mustard. Deli. Yeah.
Yeah, not really like a relish guy.
Nah.
Some people put hot dog. I'm sorry, hot dog. Ketchup on their hot dog.
Nah, it's disgusting.
Those
are weird. Those are weird people.
Well, there are people who also rip the skin off the hot dog.
There are people that put mayonnaise on their hamburger. Those are also weird people.
I found that out. I was in Pennsylvania somewhere, and I went to this was years ago. I went to a McDonald's, I think, and they had, I think it was mustard on the hamburger. That was like, ugh.
Yeah, that's the guy. I did that in Florida. When I went to Florida, I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Apparently, that's just the way at the time. Anyway, that's just the way it was done there. I was like, ugh, yeah, this doesn't feel right.
Jeff with the 13 months. Did your ExpressVPN stop working right when the main event came on for Elimination Chamber? Mine did and would not come back on.
No, I heard no complaints from anybody, and all the times I've used it, I've had no issues.
Venom Supreme with a 5. Glad we have you two, Jesse and BC. Make shit tolerable. Wish one day you four could do a special collab. That would be interesting. Mustangs rule. Thank you, Kal-El. Thank you, brother. Havili, thank you again for the $200 bomb coming from Brisbane. Alex with a 5. Buy, rent, sell on most washed and irrelevant crowd chant you guys can slightly tolerate. We want tables. This is awesome.
What?
Or what?
What?
Buy on what? Sell on we want tables? Or rent on we want tables?
I mean, the rest don't even matter. I mean, the answer is what? Like, it is the worst chant in the history of wrestling. And that, I mean, there's nothing that's even, like, whatever number 2 is, it's a distant number 2. Actually, after last night, I might say, holy shit. That might be number 2.
Buy on what? Sell on this is awesome, and actually, no, sell on we want tables and rent on this is awesome. We want tables is terrible. Like, the fans just act, they don't know what they want. I hate that chant. Like, 5 minutes into the match, we want tables. No. Baltimore Jackson 199. Asian food or Italian?
Asian.
I gotta go. I love Asian food, but I gotta go Italian. Wrestling Ross with a 10. Just sending some love to TNT. TNT for life. Thank you, Wrestling Ross.
Thank you.
Clips with the 499. I love the TNT show. Solo, please tell me what the purple poster over your shoulder is. I've been trying to guess for weeks.
Well, what it is a spaceman who is walking through the forest, and each tree has a different color light. It almost looks like each tree has like a portal. And I saw it online, and I'm like, man, that looks fucking badass. So I got it, and it's by an artist called Nick Fluke, Flook. The place where I got it from doesn't have it anymore. Because somebody asked me about that not that long ago, and I actually went online to search, and I can't even find it anymore. I mean, his work, you can find his work online. A lot of it has like a little astronaut guy in it. This one, I can't find this anywhere anymore. So you can
yeah, looking at it, it does look pretty cool.
It's cool. It's like you can't see him, but he's kind of starting to walk through, and it's just a bunch of trees, but the colors make it pop. There's like a red, a blue, a yellow, a green, but it's like in the tree. So I look at it, it's up for interpretation. I look at it as like, hey, each tree is like a portal to another world, maybe. You know, it's cool. I like it.
Furious, I agree, JD, that Cody versus Randy and Drew versus Fatu make SmackDown side going to Mania better. Sadly, though, I've seen people on X call Cody Rhodes Cody Hogan. Just like Mercedes Hogan and Becky Hogan and Rhea Hogan. I mean, Hulk Hogan's name is going to live on for the annals of the rest of our time because of bad creative and stupid fans. Baltimore Jacks with the 199. Predator franchise or Terminator franchise? Terminator franchise. Terminator, yeah. Do you guys think Bigfoot and the Loch Ness are real? He also asks.
No.
Well, I think Bigfoot is real. Loch Ness, no.
No.
Alex with a 5. Buy, rent, sell on your favorite Revolution match. MJF versus Cody, Revolution 20. Omega versus Moxley, Revolution 21. Or Ospreay versus Takeshita, Revolution 24. How could we leave out MJF versus Bryan Danielson off this list? What are we doing here?
It's the best Iron Man match I've ever seen.
It may be one of the best matches in the company's history. I got to go MJF and Bryan. I have to eliminate MJF versus Cody. I have to go Omega Moxley. And then, actually, no, Ospreay Takeshita and then Omega Moxley. But MJF and Bryan is the best Revolution match, period. Baltimore Jackson with the 199. Jason versus Michael Myers, street fight. Who you got?
Those are my two favorites right there. Yeah, man, I feel like I gotta go with my namesake.
Yeah. I got to go. I'll probably go Jason, too. The Creeper or Leatherface? Who you got?
Creeper.
Furious Nation with the 499. I remember when Bruce Pritchard wanted Adam Cole to be manager and change his name. Beyond awful. How that rat Bruce is still there is mind-boggling. Yeah, they also wanted to take his Twitch away from him, too. M. James with a 5. The Chamber feels repetitive every year. It's a number one contender match for the title. The Rumble winner doesn't choose. Maybe it's time for a change. Thoughts? I don't know what you change it to. Unless it's going to be a championship match every year. What do you do? Havili with a 5. P.S. I think I know both of your answer for which lady who would have done Playboy. Oh, this was last week's question. There's plenty to choose from, Havili. Plenty to choose from. Baltimore Jackson with the 199. I saw Scream 7. It was good. 3 thumbs up. I heard it was awful. It got a terrible rating on Bad Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes.
Is that a new website that I'm not aware of?
Rotten Tomatoes. Cater with a 199. Top 5 best NXT title reigns in black and gold. Tommaso Ciampa number 1, Adam Cole number 2. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Yeah, Ciampa's at the top of the list.
Baltimore Jackson, Jesse versus Solo. First blood match. Who you got? I'm definitely going Solo. Crazy Man with a 5. Io Asuka was the planned match for Mania back in the early fall. Also watch for Julia to Raw and JC Fallon to SmackDown with Kiana as the new fatal influence post-Mania. I could see it. Listen, man, JC's slowly growing on me. Slowly. Not there yet. Alex with a $5 super chat. Ted DiBiase Jr. is probably wondering how the fuck did my legacy partners end up in the main event of WrestleMania?
Yeah, and he's going to end up behind bars.
Bossmo Jackson, the 199. JD for Spike Dudley. Who you got? Hardcore match. Spike Dudley.
Yeah.
Furious with the 499. If WWE does another draft transfer window coming out of Mania, would you like to see American Made move to SmackDown with Gable fighting for the U.S. title? Bro, what are we? 2 years ago?
I think he needs a change of scenery. So anything that gets him away from this Americano stuff.
Yes. Jay Miller with a $2 super chat. Sox fans here, we call it Great Field or the rate.
Well,
the rate, bro.
Better than guaranteed rate field. So I would shorten it to something else too.
Bossmo Jackson with the 499. JD chocolate, double chocolate chunk cookie voice or goon voice, which is funnier? The goon. Lorgasmic. Don't give Triple H any ideas. He will put his current self in 2K26 as DLC and still be at a 91.
I just wonder, does he open the video game up? Is he on like the main screen and
probably
does he sing the national anthem in the game?
Furious with the 199. Costco guys and the New Age Outlaws. Please, no Tony. Base Beers with a 4. The Stone Age Outlaws. Oh, you didn't know. And then shout out to Conan. Bossmo Jackson with a 499. You guys are the weird ones. Ketchup on hot dogs is normal. Mustard on burgers is normal too. I think you guys are aliens from outer space. Bro, that is not normal. Not normal. And Furious Nation, we'll end with this. 199. Is the what chant the worst in wrestling? Jason says unequivocally yes.
Yes.
That's all we got. What?
Yeah. Nothing is even close. Like it is the bane of these shows, and it's been 25 years.
Oh my goodness, man. This wraps up another week of TNT. You guys killed it with the super chats at 1,100 likes. We had 2,900 in here as I see my final count. So thank you guys very much. Leave it to Jason to sound us off for another great week here on Tuesday night.
Yeah, I mean, best wishes to Conan. I don't think he's actually spoken publicly about it yet. It's unconfirmed, but it seems pretty well documented that he had one of his legs amputated within the past week or so. I know he's had a lot of health issues in recent years. There's a possibility he may need his other leg to be amputated, so he's in a rough way right now, and just wishing him well.
Thoughts and prayers to Conan. Thank you guys very much for all your supports. Appreciate you as always here on Tuesday nights. We'll be back next week with more news, more opinions. Right here on TNT episode 139. We got the road to WrestleMania winding down. We got 5.5 weeks to go. And the place to be to talk about it all is right here on Tuesday night. So for the Solid Monster, I'm JD from New York. Go follow us on social media. You guys know what to do. Everything's linked in the description. Continue to hit that thumbs up. And we will see you right back here next week. We got a big week. Wednesday's Dynamite, Revolution on Sunday, and we'll be back to talk about it all right here next week on Tuesday night. See you guys later.